Ladies and gentlemen, NFL Draft Day 2025, finally here, the moment we've been waiting for. I know for myself, NFL Draft Day is the second biggest day of the year besides the Super Bowl. So absolutely thrilled to be here with you all. And my main man, Maverick, looking absolutely dapper with the collar on. How are you feeling today, Mav?
Well, it's an interesting one, mate. It's one of those days where you're pumped for, right? Super Bowl day number one, number two is your draft day. But as a Cowboys man, we don't really get Super Bowls and we don't really get drafts. We don't ever get top picks. We never get Super Bowls. So it's in between, right? So no, it should be good tonight, mate. It's going to be a nice little watch along here with live reactions along the way. Let's see if we can get some surprises. Let's see where Ashton Genty can fall. He's probably the most interesting guy in this draft, I think. He's gone from probably being a top 10 to 12 pick to now probably a top 5 pick. So I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, a lot of variants, and I think we're going to be spoiled today. I'm wishing for 3 first-round running backs, a whole mitt full of wide receivers at the back end of the first round. Hopefully, we can just hit everything, and we'll just have so much more to talk about. So yeah, just can't wait. Very keen for it.
But, man, I hope we see fucking 3 running backs in the top 20, to be honest. But I think Henderson might be like a Chiefs legend down there at pick 31. You can just see it happening already, can't you? He'll go into like a sort of a committee as such and just dominate.
Yeah, and it would be unfair, honestly, for the Chiefs to pick up a running back like that with just that explosiveness and there's those big play characteristics. But fingers crossed, yeah, we can get a lot moving. I'll just flick on. We'll be just following live just on the draft tracker. And yeah, we've watching it on a second screen, trying to get some live reactions here of what's happening. It looks like Tennessee Titans are on the clock. 8 minutes 30 in. I think it's a pretty clear one, Mav, who this one's going to be. I think we've known this one for months now. So the draft really started.
We haven't known it for months. I think it's been changing rapidly over the last sort of 2 months, to be honest. Cam Ward probably in the last couple of weeks has really sort of hit the table as such. Now he's probably the 101. But like we had some rumors of Shadur and we had some rumors of, Abdul Carter and everything like that. But now we know this is going to be Cam Ward. The Titans know that they need a QB, desperate for a QB. So I think it's the safe pick. Look, I'm not a massive Cam Ward fan, Mate. I think he's going to be okay. I don't think he's going to be generational. I don't think he's going to be elite, like a top 5 QB in the league as such. But I think he's just going to be a solid QB, which is fine.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Titans are looking for. I mean, look at what they've been dealing with for the last couple of years. They have not had much luck at all. And who knows when you're going to be the first overall pick again. So you just have to do what's best. But I think a lot of people have been comparing, and it's a very high-end comparison. I'm definitely not this far, but people say absolute ceiling of Cam Ward is Joe Burrow. And we know the current Titans head coach, Brian Callahan, look what he did with Joe Burrow. So maybe if they share some characteristics, maybe that offense can get firing a lot more. So, yeah, we just have to wait.
Here. Just keep going.
All good. So, yeah, we've still got 6 minutes 45 on the clock. I don't know why they're dwindling it down. Maybe they're just waiting to see if anybody wants to pay an absolute king's ransom. So,
yeah,
we all know what's going to happen. And Mav, I think in Superflex rookie drafts, I know everybody's been saying the QB class isn't anywhere near as strong as previous years, but given just the weight of quarterbacks in Superflex, whereabouts would you be taking Cam Ward if you're on the clock?
Look, he's probably still a top 3 pick, being in Superflex leagues. Does he start week 1? Probably. But we'll soon see over training camp. But he should still be a top 3, top 4 pick at the absolute worst. I've got personally Genty, McMillan, depending on landing spot at this point in time, and probably Hampton top 3 or Henderson. Yep. So he probably falls between 3 or 4. Again, depending on landing spots, what we see today, that will really determine where I actually have Cam Ward. But he doesn't fall past 4 on my board.
Yeah, and he shouldn't. And looking at fantasy managers that have those top 4 picks, more often than not, their quarterback room is going to be a shit show. So you just kind of have to take it when you can. And he could be a mid QB too. I could kind of see him kind of floating around that area. He's got big play capabilities. He scrambles a little bit. Just hopefully not as many turnovers as what he had in college.
Look, they've currently got on the screen at the moment that his player comparison to Baker Mayfield. It is going through it now. And look, if he is Baker Mayfield, I think that's good.
For sure.
I can see more of a Geno Smith personally.
Yep.
But if we got a Baker Mayfield out of Cam Ward, that is huge. And this is like current Baker Mayfield money, not Browns Baker Mayfield or like the move along to different teams Baker Mayfield. We're talking Bucks Baker Mayfield here. So yeah, if we got that, that's massive. He's probably a top 2 pick then, if that's the case.
Yeah, and what's to say that they don't add more talent around him during this draft? I know they've got an early 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
I think they were within the top 5 or 6 picks there. So if they can tie a wide receiver, I think Luther Burden has been mocked to the Titans in a lot of places. So any help that he can get, yeah, Jaden Higgins would be a great fit. I think it would just kind of really go in hand. So yeah,
he's in, mate. It's just we've got Shefty here on the screen, who has actually sort of said this top 10 is going to be carnage. So we'll see what he actually means by that when we finish the top 10 picks. But the pick is in, and the NFL draft is the worst like this, mate. The pick is in. It's been in for 2 weeks or such.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like they're just dragging out the time. We just need the pick to come out here. But yeah, they did sign Tyler Lockett yesterday as well, didn't they?
Yeah, cheap little $3 or $4 million deal. So that's some help,
Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett.
They improved their O-line too over the offseason.
Yeah, they're going to need to do that. They're going to need to do that for sure. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. I'm really excited to see. Probably outside the top 3 picks. I think I know what the top 3 is going to be. But,
yeah, well, I hope we get a heap of trades. Like I could easily see the Giants trading back from Carter. I know there's a lot of people are saying Carter and Hunter are the 2 best players in this draft. Maybe just given how kind of stacked they are in that D line as is, and in edge rushers, but maybe they can just get an absolute haul for him. Yeah, I think it'll be very active, very very active. Yeah, come on, call it out. We know what it is.
Who do we have? We have Cam Ward.
Is now Mav with Cam Ward? Is Calvin Ridley a sneaky buy?
Hang on, mate. They have officially picked Cameron Ward. There we go. I don't know, man. Ridley's killed me in the past, so it's more like it's more of a I can't do it again. But no, good pick from the Titans. It was the safe pick. We knew that. What do we like about Cam Ward the most?
I think just his arm. I just think he's not afraid to get that ball downfield and get the chains moving, and he does scramble. He's got good pocket awareness, and yeah, I think he could add a couple of hundred rushing yards just sneakily. So that'll elevate his floor. Oh, Cleveland trades to Jacksonville. No way.
Oh God,
it's happening already. Let's see if we can try and find out how much.
Holy crap!
What's the trade? 2nd pick. Who are they trading up for? Travis Hunter? No way.
Wow.
Already, Maverick. Oh, yeah, just
he was right, mate. He was right. He nailed it. His intel's incredible. He knows what goes on. But what's the trade?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
That is huge. I mean, we got Damo here in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the trade. Pick 5, 2nd round, 4th round, and 2026 first.
Wow.
For pick 2, 4th round, and 6th round. Whew.
Oh, that's hot.
That's massive, mate. That is huge.
Wow.
Like Hunter's elite, right? He is elite.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's generational. And if he's, I just wonder what they'd call out, because I think he's been going on in the media. If they don't call out wide receiver and defensive back, he'll just lose it. So surely, but I mean, oh,
The Browns won a trade.
man. Well, they needed it. They need so many pieces. I can see them definitely coming back up for a quarterback with those extra picks. I think that second round pick, it's pretty high too for the Jags. It would be.
It's pick 36.
Pick 36. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, God. All right. So I was watching something last night, right, on Travis Hunter, and they sort of compared him to Justin Jefferson at wide receiver, Patrick Surtain at cornerback,
Far out.
and Michael Jordan as a winner. Wow.
I have heard the Michael Jordan comparison. Actually, I can't remember where
He
that
just
was from.
wins.
Yeah. And he's just an absolute freak athlete.
Justin
Absolute freak.
So what does he play, mate? Does he play wide receiver in this? If he plays wide receiver predominantly, is he a sneaky top 4, top 3? If he's Justin Jefferson, mate, he's pick 1.
Yeah. I mean, if he's primarily a wide receiver, I think I'd flirt with the call of
I'll
having
tell
him
you what,
one
mate.
overall in rookie drafts.
If that's the case, mate, Brian Thomas Jr. this hurts him.
It does. But I think Liam Cohen, I think 2 wide receivers, Trevor Lawrence. If you've got Trevor Lawrence, you're absolutely cheering right now. We'll wait until Travis Hunter gets picked to kind of go in. But Trevor Lawrence stock goes all the way up. And
Etienne goes up a little bit too, Matt. The rumors were Genty. That were the rumors. Genty was coming into the Jags. That was everyone had him at number 5 on the board. So does that mean the Browns trade back with the Bears?
do they take Genty?
I
don't know. Like you
Can he play QB?
Hey, if he just runs it 40 times a game, they don't need the QB.
There you go.
Yeah, you wouldn't think a team who needs that much. You're silly to invest in a running back when your quarterback is Joe Flacco at the moment. But we've seen crazier things. That is insane.
That's crazy. So yeah, Travis Hunter's going to be the pick, mate. It's obvious. It's so obvious.
Yeah.
Wow. This sort of takes the shine off Cam Ward a little bit here.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But I guess like we kind of already had that shine off. Everybody knew Cam Ward was going there.
Yeah, I know, but it was meant to be an easy moment. We're talking about the trade.
Yeah, straight away gone.
Yeah.
I mean, this is huge. Like Liam Cohen, first year as head coach, big Mr. Duval himself.
This is the thing, man. This is the thing. When you've got an offensive-minded head coach coming in, you want to be bringing an offensive-minded weapon as your first thing, right? Jesus, though. Look, Genty was the play. He was the play. But, hey, look, you want to be able to compete next year then, or this year, I suppose. If you're giving away next year's pick, you want to be making the playoffs with this trade.
I mean, does this just go to show that they're happy with their current running back situation already that they have with Tank Bigsby and Etienne? Yeah.
And Bigsby too. Like it's a committee still, but it's still fine. It's just
they've got
offensive
depth
line
there.
at the Jags is shaky. Defensively, they're okay, not great, but just okay. So if you get Travis Hunter, if he plays corner, then you got an elite player there. So, yeah. Yeah, the panels are saying live on ESPN here that they'd be intrigued to see if Cleveland go down again.
Yeah, why not?
So I think the Bears will go up to 5 and get Genty.
Yeah, they wouldn't need to give. I think they just have to give they've got 2 seconds. If they give one of those up, I reckon they could easily move up.
Here we go. Picks in.
Oh man, this is nuts.
I think Goodell loves this like a little story before a pick, doesn't he?
He's a showman.
Yeah, he's got booed, as always, really, but
Yeah.
they're doing the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Oh wow, this is just I just still can't get over this. Second pick. Oh,
crazy. Look at Damo in the chat.
Jaguars paid too much. Yeah, they paid an absolute haul.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they flunk out, that first next year goes through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go, mate. Pick is in.
Come on.
He's in the do-all. Oh, dear.
So
all right. He's now thanking the crowd. All right. Just it's a bit of me time here, mate. Just give us the pick.
Yeah. All right, let's see what he calls out.
Be crazy if they went Abdul Carter.
Oh, that would be nuts.
Imagine that. Abdul Carter.
It could happen.
Here we go. He's said his thanks. And with the second pick. Oh, we got a trade. We know that already.
Yeah, they said it too. Wide receiver, defensive back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Honestly, a much better spot for Travis Hunter. Like, if he was going to Cleveland, their quarterback room situation is, absolute dust. Being paired with Trevor Lawrence.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. But hey, he's an elite player.
He is. Generational. Heisman winner.
Yeah. That's crazy. I can't get over the fact they did all that. Absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
They're not playing games on draft day.
And he's a cocky bastard too, Travis Hunter. And I sort of like that about players, man. Is when you have that arrogance, you know that you're good. Prime Jalen Ramsey was like that as well, and he was a beast for so long, right? But yeah, again, if we're comparing him to Justin Jefferson offensively and Satan defensively,
it's a big call, but I mean, he can definitely fill those shoes. We've known all draft long he is the best wide receiver talent. We were just a little bit unsure of how that would translate if he is, splitting that workload on both sides. But he showed how much. I think in college he did like 700 snaps or something absolutely ridiculous on both sides of the ball. Just a freak athlete.
He's a true unicorn, right? So in fantasy football, if you've got him playing wide receiver, right, and he gets defensive stats with it, you're going to have to put defensive stats on for leagues.
It's not fair.
What if he gets a pick six?
And he could do it too. He's a ball hawk.
Imagine having three TDs, one being a pick six.
He's a game breaker.
He can't play both, man. It's going to be one or the other. He can't play both. You're not in the NFL.
Yeah, I think there'll be packages. I think he'll have very high value opportunities on offense. So whether they're within the red zone or whenever he comes on that offensive side, he's purely just going to be. That's just his play.
There's no way he plays 100% wide receiver or 80% snap percentage.
I think it could be viable though if he just plays 50 on offense. If he gets 10, he could easily get 10 touchdowns in a year. Oh man.
Put it on defensive stats for your leagues next year, huh?
For those guys with IDP leagues, has to be a pickup. Has to be the 101.
Where does he go then in IDP leagues? I've got one myself.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You can stash him. You can play him at IDP. He's a wide receiver.
Just not fair.
That's crazy. Yeah, I would probably. So in that league, I won it last year, so I got pick 110.
Yep.
I mean, if Travis Hunter's there, I'm taking him at 110. He won't be, but Tony Khan's there with his dad. He's the old wrestling AEW legend at the moment, the commissioner.
Yep.
He's there. He's happy there. He's hugging with his old man, Shad. So just family of wealth, really. But let's see if he can do a Duval for us as well.
We'd love to hear it. They've even got it on the hat. Big
Yeah.
Duval. Oh, God. They're just really buying into it.
We got the Giants here on the clock. The pick is in. We think it's going to be Abdul Carter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. He's the best player remaining. Arguably the best player in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if they went Will Campbell?
I think that would be. Yeah.
I got Andrew Thomas. That'd be a weird one.
Yeah. I think it'd be a bit of a reach because I think, Will Campbell. I think Pats might move back, honestly, on the next pick.
Will Campbell has to be the play, man. Has to be.
I just think I think someone will move up for Genty at 4. Unless Pats take Genty. Oh.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Oh, that would just be Ramondre Stevenson, mate, in that one league. Stock's absolutely dead. Out the door.
Yeah. All right. Pick it in, mate. Abdul Carter is what I'm predicting here.
Yeah. Like he can't miss. And after last year, especially with the behind the scenes with the whole Giants team, you have to think they just take a can't miss prospect.
What if they went Shador?
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's still a possibility.
They do have Russ and James Winston.
Abdul Carter. There it is.
Yeah.
Those are fantasy. Who cares? But Giants defense getting stronger might have to be a sneaky one to watch out for. They'll be able to get after that quarterback with the studs they have. Yeah, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter.
It's a safe pick. He was meant to be the one I won like a month ago, man. Try and get better defensively. I don't mind it. I didn't think they'd trade back at all. I did not think they'd draft Shador.
Yeah. They might trade up later on.
But not now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a beast, man. Like they're giving him an overall grade of 90 there. His production being 95. He's not really that athletic, but he's just strong.
Yeah.
They're comparing him to Von Miller, for example. So, not a bad comparison there. They're showing his highlight reels here, and on the edge there, once he gets a step, he's gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to translate in the NFL. He did have 12 sacks last year in the college football system, which is not bad. But I can also see the Giants. Anyone that goes to the Giants just flops as well. So I can sort of see that being a thing. But at the same time, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, it's a very, very safe pick. Just don't, especially with this, you're having such a high pick. Who knows when you're going to be back at 3? Just take the blue chip player. Just be happy with it. Don't take a risk. Like taking Shador there. Oh,
I think Shador's going to go like. There's rumors of him going to the Saints. What pick they got? 9.
They got 9.
There's also rumors of him going to the Seagulls at 21. From the Saints, I'm trading back and taking him at 18, getting an extra asset in there. Yep. Because Derek Carr, let's be honest, he's getting a bit older now, and I don't know how many years he's got left in his contract, but he probably has another year left, maybe. They might get rid of him and release him or anything like that. But he can sit and watch Derek Carr for a year, learn the system, and then come in next year and play. So if I'm the Saints, I think I'm looking at that. And we saw when Derek Carr wasn't playing that was a disaster, right?
Yeah. But I think they've come out earlier. Derek Carr's got a really nasty shoulder injury, and they're just waiting to see. He might miss the year. He might miss a big portion, and they can't. Surely they can't run out there with Spencer Rattler again.
No, they can't.
So
no, they can't.
Yeah, Jackson Dart has been mocked there. Shador, either or would just be a lot better than what they have. But yeah, I agree with you. They don't need to take him at 9.
No,
he's been falling back into the late teens, mid-20s.
All right, we got the pickers in here from the Pats. I think it's going to be Campbell.
Thinking Campbell?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Campbell's definitely the smart play with Mike Vrabel, but man, just Genty, I'm not ruling it out.
Membu, if they want another, or Banks. I think they've got enough offensive line here, I think, is the play here for the Pats. Depending on who they like, really, but I think it's going to be offensive tackle.
Definitely their biggest need.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you want to protect Drake May too. So he's only young. He's your franchise at the moment. So I think that's the play. The pick is in. I think I'm a bit behind on the stream compared to what everyone else is on, but that's okay.
I think it's been coming, especially on this live tracker that we've got up. It is a little bit delayed. So if you guys are watching live, it won't be spoiled at all, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's some. I think we get at least one more trade inside the top 10, maybe even 2, if we're lucky.
Yeah, I really think the Browns. Man.
Oh, we've got these new comments come in. Genty to the Pats. I'd like to see it. Personally, I would. I think Drake May rushing quarterback, he'd open up those lanes a lot more, even though Genty doesn't need that.
That would shock me.
Oh, it would be a big shock, but man, I just want carnage today. I just want carnage and offensive guns going to just great landing spots. So,
yeah.
Oh man, I'm still thinking about Travis Hunter. That's just, how does that look for rookie drafts? I think I have to see what they say, see what the Jags front office say about how they want to utilize him. But that was a bit of a dark horse. I didn't think I saw anything about Jags being linked to Travis Hunter this whole.
Not one thing.
That just goes to show, such a big
social media has ruined sports to a degree, man. Where you sort of know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. So when you get a surprise like this, I feel as though that's what you want to watch it for. You want to be surprised, like. Generally before the draft, everyone comes out and, this guy's going to be doing this, or Genty's a pick here, they've been talking here, and these guys are going to be moving up in the draft and this and that. I just want to be surprised when I watch stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a genuine surprise. So, I
think that's what a lot of these orgs kind of do as well. Like, they're not trying to give anything away. Like, if it was me, I'd be just taking the absolute piss out of people and just giving them absolute false information. A lot, heap of smoke shows just going out just for this. You're like, oh man, still can't get over it. That is awesome.
Yeah. I hate when they put ads in when the pick is in. That's just disgusting. The Pats, they picked up Stephon Diggs on a 3-year, $69 million contract.
Yeah.
They've picked up Harold Landry, the third to a 3 years, a linebacker. So they have fixed a couple of needs for them. So I truly believe this is going to be offensive tackle. Look, do they need a running back? Yeah, look, they probably do. But you can get that in the second round.
Yeah. Oh, and there's heap to go around second round, third round, even the fourth. I think looking at the prospects as we were coming in, there's at least 15 guys that could genuinely start in the NFL. It's just such a deep running back class. So they could double tap offensive line in the first 2 rounds. Wouldn't surprise me. They probably need to add another receiver. You'd hope.
I've just seen something here. The Browns are trying to trade back again.
They are.
Yeah.
They could come out of this this class of so much equity.
Yeah. I think that's what they're trying to do, just try and get a haul. Maybe they weren't certain on Travis Hunter. Maybe they didn't know what his best position was. Maybe they didn't know what to do with him. Maybe they just didn't like his player profile. They didn't know how to control him. I mean, he's quite an arrogant guy.
Yep.
And maybe they didn't want that in their franchise. I get all that. So, you know, stockpiling picks, not a bad thing. It's meant to be a pretty good draft too. So stockpiling is not a bad thing. You know, with Travis Hunter or not, they're going to be probably a top 5 pick next year. So, yeah, I mean, either way, I like it. It makes sense for them to draft that trade back. If you're not taking Travis Hunter, then you might as well trade back.
Yeah. Will Campbell, there we are.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
that's good. It's great. Honestly, great to see. Drake May getting some help. Like you mentioned, Stephon Diggs joined on a 3-year deal. He won't really do too much for fantasy, but you know, if they do bring in a,
he's given up 2 sacks in 2 years.
Yeah, wow.
So big boy, big boy.
A lot of knocks on his arms though. He's got short arms.
That's okay.
But yeah,
he's 6'6",
play on the inside, he'll be right.
With a 4.98 40-yard dash. That's pretty quick.
320 pounds. Oh,
yeah. He's a big, agile bloke.
That's a man.
Yeah.
That's a beast.
Yeah. He can move, man. He can move. Yeah. Really short arms, big hips. That's a good comparison there from Cam Toohill here in the chat.
Big hips.
Hey.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly what he's saying. What a guy.
But
it looks like Mav. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. It says the pick is in for Cleveland Browns. So, did they not move back?
Maybe they're just going to take the pick. They didn't like any trades that were being sent.
I mean, who have we got left here still? What do they need? Oh, they need a lot. Do they take Shador?
Yeah.
That would be. Why not?
Yeah,
unless
they do need everything. That's the thing. Mason Graham.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been drafted as a top 7 prospect in the whole class. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Gentry's still there. He might just fall to Raiders.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe they take him now. Oh, man, I don't know. I'm just so keen. What do we think of this one, Mav? Just chuck it up on the screen there. Shador to the Saints. I know I've seen, just to jump in first, the Saints, they didn't have any private meetings with him or anything like that. They didn't really show too much interest, but maybe that's their way of just creating a bit of a smoke show. But how does that kind of look for you if Shador went to the Saints?
Yeah, as I said before, man, if they trade back and get him, cool. Probably trade back before the Steelers pick, but I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. He's got really short arms. I'm just seeing that now. He's got really short arms.
Really short.
But, you know, it's fine. It's fine, man.
He's big.
He's just crying now. He's just lost his emotion there a little bit. It's got to him the moment. It's got to him, so it means a lot.
I just think this is their dream come true, right? This is the moment they've been working so hard for their whole life. It's great to see.
He's just said that then. He's worked his whole life to get to this moment. So, this is pretty genuine.
Pats might be a sneaky second in the division. I think Miami's dust. I think Jets. Oh, unless Aaron Glenn can turn them around a whole heap, but they might be sneaky with Vrabel coming in. Their defense is jacked up now.
He just said he's going to fight and die to protect Drake May.
That's what we love to see.
Picks in, mate, for the Browns. I know this has been in there for a while, but I'm guessing it's going to be Mason Graham.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not ruling out Shador. We'll see.
But Shador is still in that possibility, isn't he?
Yeah. It's just so polarizing. So much how much media coverage he had all off season.
This is probably the most intriguing pick of the draft.
Yeah, given they didn't move back, they need a whole lot of help.
So they got Joe Flacco and they traded for Kenny Pickett.
They could take offensive line. I know, yeah, Armand Membu is there. He's been mocked pretty early. I don't know.
Or do they go... I mean, they got Myles Garrett on a massive contract. Do they try and just make defensively a nightmare and get Graham in there and just try and be solid?
What about Tet? I wouldn't rule Tet out.
Yeah, they need a QB first.
They do. Let's see.
I don't think Tet would be the play. Membu?
Mason Graham, there you go.
Yeah, I thought so.
You all over it this morning, Mav?
Yeah. 5 from 5, mate.
Maverick, Daniel Jeremiah. Same thing. And we really think Genty is coming here to Raiders too now, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't reckon?
Wow. I'd be shocked, man.
Yeah. I can see two scenarios. Genty, or they beef up the O-line with Membu or something like that, and then they get like
Membu.
Or they get like Quinshon Judkins in the second round, who has that link with Chip Kelly already after they've just had their years at Ohio State. Very well a possibility.
So if Genty doesn't go here, he's not going to the Jets, he's not going to the Panthers, he's not going to the Saints. The Bears can just sit there and take him at 10.
If Genty falls to the Bears at 10, that is massive. And they'd still have their...
I'm thinking the offensive line here, mate. I really think they're going to go either Membu or Calvin Banks. I'd probably pick Calvin Banks personally.
Yeah.
Membu's pretty good too, though. But Calvin Banks is more versatile, so he can play left tackle, he can play guard, depending on the needs, obviously, for the team. But Membu is probably just more of a guard, so it depends what they were really looking for at offensive line. But I do think it'd be either out of Membu or Banks. I think is the pick here. Running backs, man, as you said before, you can get a running back in the second round in this draft, third round. Like Cam Scatterbo's fine too. He's probably like a third or fourth round pick at this point, Cam Scatterbo. So, like you can address that later on. You can trade up and get Hampton if you want to as well. So, like there's many suggestions here. I mean, Genty could be a Hall of Famer as well. So, you know you're going to get a Genty straight away. He forces missed tackles all the time. So, it's tough. They're probably in the hardest position right now, the Rays. I don't think they thought this was going to happen. If you sit in that green room right now, they would be surprised that Genty's still available.
Oh, for sure. With all the hype that's been coming up this last week as we edge closer to the draft, I just think if they draft Genty, they're a contender in their division. It's Chiefs who always win it. I think they're up there for second with that running game. Gino, who's a top 12 probably league quarterback. Pete Carroll, he's a top 10 head coach. Like from just these huge upgrades, they're instantly contenders with Genty. I think they can just fully revamp their running back and offense with that one pick. But tackle probably makes the most sense for NFL reasons. But fantasy, baby, we want these.
We do want fantasy. We are here for fantasy. So what's their biggest need? It says running back, wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line, linebacker. So it's pretty much everything. They pretty much need everything. So I'd be shocked if it wasn't an offensive lineman, to be honest. You want to protect a QB as well. I mean, you just pay him too. So, you had a problem at QB for a while. So if he goes down, then you're screwed. So Calvin Banks and Membu, I think, man, I truly do believe that's going to be the pick here. But, Genty, I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah.
Actually, I would be. I would be shocked.
I don't know, Mav. There's just something about it. I'm feeling.
I
I'm
know.
feeling
You're gonna be
Genty.
right. I think you're gonna be right.
And I think for Genty, like in terms of landing spots, right, like Vegas is up there as a top landing spot for Genty. Yeah, even though like we don't really have to worry about competition with him because 90% of the league he's going to be better than straight off the bat. But that whole room to himself, a good quarterback, good head coach. Oh man,
Don't like sincere.
let's see.
What we got?
Because I think Daniel Jeremiah, he had Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, the top two, and Genty was 3 or 4 in his overall prospect. So it just goes to show how highly Genty is in terms of a prospect. But yeah, here we go. Genty, baby, come on. Bang.
Is it Genty?
Genty.
Jesus.
Wow.
Honestly,
contenders. And if they beat the Chiefs twice a year, I'll be happy about it.
Wow. Well, he's now solidified the 101 with that.
I think so.
Yeah, he's now the 101. Well, he was always going to be the 101. But
just solidified.
It solidified it.
I think if I have the 101 and I'm looking to, like, I'm super rebuilding, I do have a rebuilding team where I've got the 101. I think I'm just going to take Genty anyhow. Like, I know the smart players to move back and try and get a haul, but man, this guy could just be, he could just be absolutely next level. He's already being, you know, in terms of dynasty rankings, he's already being slotted as number 3 behind Bijan and Gibbs. So 22, very young, absolute workhorse. And he's wearing Crocs.
I saw something the other day. Who would if Zeke and Bijan was in this draft? Who would you rank as the top 3 between Genty, Bijan, and Ashton Genty? Let's say they're 20, 21 coming to the draft. Young boys.
I know Zeke, when he came in as a prospect, he was like miles above. Miles above. Like, a lot of people have him as, like, even with Zeke, Saquon, Bijan, Zeke was just that number 1 prospect overall. But I mean, it's so hard to tell. What do you think, Mav? I'm gonna cop out there, but
I think I'm going Genty number 1.
Oh, I love it.
Zeke 2. Prime Zeke was good, man. And probably Bijan number 3, but only because Bijan, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? We've got the Jets. They're going to go offensive line for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Tyler Warren, which it'd be a good fit, no doubt, because it's a Garrett Wilson. But yeah, surely you take offensive line.
Yeah, they have been mocked a lot for Tyler Warren, haven't they? Have been mocked a lot for Tyler Warren.
Yeah. Maybe they think Justin Fields, he can just scramble away and rush, but he took a lot of sacks. Yeah.
If you had to pick an offensive lineman, would it be Membu or would it be Calvin Banks? I've said him all.
I really like Membu. I think just for the running game, I think he's just a beast in that area.
Creates holes.
Yeah. Imagine Membu, Justin Fields opening it up as a rusher, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis. Wow, yeah, there's just so many possibilities. Hey, just so many.
Genty. Crazy, man. Crazy.
I'd love to know how many people put the 101 on the block in their leagues just then, as soon as he got drafted. Got to build up the hype even more.
How's the Bears? I mean, Swift's still okay.
Yeah, I think they definitely address it later on. I think they've got 2 early second-round picks. One of them has to be a running back if they don't use it to move up. But maybe Tyler Warren. I've seen a lot of Tyler Warren go to the Bears in mocks.
Colston Loveland? That'd be a surprise.
Yeah. I think he's pretty... People have it very close, like in terms of a prospect between him and Tyler Warren, and he's a few years younger as well. Might play a little bit of a part in it.
Loveland, mocked at 14 to the Colts a lot. A lot.
Yeah, Colts have been a big tight end team, it seems, but I don't reckon they'll get one. I think both tight ends will go before 14.
So Mick will be coming in at 11:15 to take over from me. I'm going the footy. But Mick will be coming in, coming in 11:15. But I'll tell you what, mate, if the Cowboys are on the clock by sort of 11:15, 11:20, I cannot go.
You can't.
It's going to be hard. But we'll see how we go. Maybe I'll stay for the Cowboys pick and get Mick in there while he's in here. But I can't leave for the Cowboys pick.
What's the worst outcome that the Cowboys draft for you, Mav? Who's the least defensive tackle? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
best case scenario, you're hoping wide receiver?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they need one. Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, if you're paying Dak that sort of cash, you need to make sure you've got some weapons to play with. So, I think Matthew Golden's a pick over Ted McMillan for the Cowboys, just because they got CeeDee Lamb. If they didn't have CeeDee Lamb, then obviously Ted McMillan would be the pick. But Matthew Golden would be a nice fit for him. I think he can play inside, way outside, quick wide receiver. I think he ran a 4.92 or something like that, or 4.39.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be the pick to use. But we'll see. We'll see.
He'd play a big compliment to CD, and I honestly think some managers. Do you think anybody would be a little bit put off by Matthew Golden going to the Cowboys?
Yeah.
So CD might be a little. I think it'll boost CD up because he's had so much coverage on him last year.
Yeah, it will.
If they can just have a bit of help, especially to stretch that field like Golden does so well. Oh,
agreed. And it makes him more dynamic.
For sure. Honestly, Mav, I hate to do it to you, but I'd love to see carnage if they take defensive tackle. I just want to see your reaction live on air. I hope it doesn't happen, but I kind of hope it does.
One too, but it's not a massive need. That wouldn't be a first-round need, I don't think.
And the defensive end class is very deep as well, along with running back.
You can go in second round.
Defensive back, yeah, for sure.
They need offensive linemen too, man. They just lost Zach Martin, so.
Yep. And is it Tyrone Smith?
Yeah.
He retired as well, so.
Yeah, he was at the Jets last year, but.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Let's see.
That's why the Jets need a left tackle now.
Yeah, it makes sense. Aaron Glenn coming from Detroit.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense.
Defensive minded coach.
Yeah. Membu.
Yeah, nice.
It's a good pick. Yeah.
So then the Panthers, they should go offensive tackle as well, I'd imagine. They'll probably get Calvin Banks.
Yeah.
Or a massive need, but
yeah.
Oh, they could get the top corner as well.
Who's the top? I've seen a lot like Jade Barron, Will Johnson.
Yeah.
There we go. We can filter this by position. Yeah, Will Johnson, Jade Barron.
He's a top 10, 12 pick, so
yeah, he's been mocked there a lot.
Yeah, he could be the player.
I mean, for fantasy, I could see them taking a wide receiver It is a wide receiver spot, I feel like, but
Yeah.
wouldn't rule it
Ted
out. Wouldn't
McMillan,
rule
you
out
reckon?
Tet. I think he'd fit in there nicely. And I even think for fantasy purposes, I think it wouldn't be a horrible landing spot. Bryce Young, he definitely picked up at the back end of last year. Dave, can't even remember the coach's name now. But offensive-minded coach nonetheless. It's where we want to see these big ticket players going. So Deadly, he's on the Ted McMillan. Calling it for the Panthers. I'd like to see it, but yeah.
So Membry, they just said he's played pretty much everything at right tackle at the moment, so it's probably his position. 3 sacks allowed last year. Oh, his career, sorry. He's allowed 3 sacks, so over 1,038 snaps, I think it was. So that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, a great pick. You can't go wrong with building up that O line anyhow,
mate. Yeah, O line. You know, I've spoken to people that sort of watch NFL but don't really. They don't know the importance of the offensive line. The offensive line is very crucial to a team. I think it's for me, it's quarterback then O line.
Yep. No, I agree.
The most important, or left tackle is probably the second most important position of the in the NFL. So yeah, we'll see how they go here. The Panthers. Calvin Banks is still there. Do they sort of beef up that offensive line and pick up him? I don't mind it personally.
Yeah, I mean,
another defensive tackle or defensive lineman as such, and sort of get another weapon in there. They've got a lot of options here, the Panthers. A lot of options here. I think they probably need to address defensively first, though.
Yep.
Because they gave up a lot of points.
Yeah, I think they had the worst rushing defense in the league last year. I know the year prior it was bottom 5. So just looking at Daniel Jeremiah's last mock, he mocked Mason Graham there. Obviously he's gone, but
yeah,
that defense, must be a fair few whispers that they're looking at the defensive side.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I'm just waiting for the second trade, Mav, in the top 10. I think surely it's coming.
Well, maybe this Schefter. Yeah, I guess he sort of got it right. I mean, that one trade has messed up the whole top 10.
Yep, it really has. I mean, I could even see the Saints moving back. They need so much help.
Yeah, I do see that, but they're on the clock technically now, so
yep. Pickers in for the Panthers.
What we got? I really do think they need to go defense here. They really need to go defense, man.
Yeah, I think it's either defense or it has to be a pass catcher. They can't go any other way, but
yeah.
Oh, these ads.
I know, they're killers, man. They're absolute killers. This is how they make their money, man. This is how the NFL makes their money off advertisements, and they make a shitload off tonight's stream, that's for sure. Imagine if they went Tet.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think it's a good landing spot for him. Absolutely no competition whatsoever.
Tyler Warren.
Yeah, potential. Yeah. I took a little sneaky Tyler Warren to go pick 9, just because I think Bears are primed to take Tyler Warren. A team might move up to the Saints to pick Tyler Warren. 9-1 could happen. Could happen.
I think it's defensive, man.
Yeah.
They need
Come on, give it to us.
Defensively. I mean, they got JC Horn still, so
yeah. But again, like defensive class is so deep, maybe they just swing. Absolutely swing for the fences with a wide receiver. Let's go.
What we got?
Oh, Tet. No way.
Jesus. Jesus. Well,
I mean, for fantasy implications, Travis Hunter, a great landing spot. Tet, a great landing spot. Genty, a great landing spot. Cam Ward, obviously. We all know he was going there. But
wow.
That's a statement. Yeah, Canales, yeah. Offensive-minded coach. He wants to beef up that offense.
Wow. That is crazy, man. That now has got me interested in Tet McMillan again.
Well, I mean, Deadly Stone in here, trading up in Dynasty now. Need Tet in my life. I think there'll be a lot of people on that page. That's a great spot.
Wow.
He could get 28% of the targets, 29%, maybe even more.
Yep. Easily, man. Easily.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, they're going to leak points. They're going to leak points, but they still have, I mean, they can still address it. But you want a leader defensively. They're not going to get a leader defensively.
I think they've got – oh, no, they don't have their second-round pick. I think they traded that in the Bryce Young deal.
Yeah. Well, you can have a look because if you go up.
Oh, does it have the?
Yeah, it's go round 2. There's a little drop box there.
Yeah. What do they got? Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, by
yeah,
Carolina. So there you go.
Oh, they've got what do they got?
Oh, they got one in the second round. Late
25,
yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, look at the Cleveland Browns now. First pick in the second, 4th pick in the second.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't trade back, but hey, look, all good, man. So
no trade.
Saints.
New Orleans Saints, yeah, no trade.
No trade yet.
No trade. It could be a quarterback spot. Could be a reach, but they need the help.
Calvin Banks, they've got Barron there, they've got Calvin Banks, they've got Matthew Golden, they've also got Shador. Defensive line, yep, cool. They've got Walker there. They're not really starve options here, but I think Banks is the play. I think Calvin Banks is the play.
Yeah. Like you mentioned earlier, can't go wrong with O-line. Very safe pick.
Always, mate. Always O-line. Yeah, so, I mean, if they don't trade back here...
Because what do they have in the second?
That means you can almost lock in Shador at 21 to the Steelers.
Yep. Or they could trade up. They've still got their 8th pick in the second round. That's all they've got. Could use that to trade back in. I heard a lot of talks, Mav. I don't know if you have the same, but a lot of talks of teams moving back into the end of the second to pick up one of these QBs if they fall. Yeah. Or they just pick him right here. Zed Miller, yeah. I mean, he got an invite to the draft. Surprising.
I don't think he'll get picked today.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Unless it's way back, someone trades up.
I can see Tet being it's a nice pick. 6'4", man. And 40-yard dash, 4.53, so
yeah.
Athletic.
I mean, this is the Dave Canales' Mike Evans from when he was at the Bucks.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Profiles very similarly.
is he the Mike Evans?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be, who's that? Who's,
Leggett?
who was, hey?
Xavier Leggett from last year's class?
No, I was thinking someone else. He's now
Coca?
Cowboys.
No, the Cowboys.
Got picked by the Panthers. Now the Cowboys.
Mingo.
Yes,
Jonathan
Mingo.
Mingo,
Just a Mingo pick.
Oh, God, we hope not.
But no, I think it's going to be a nice pick. Bryce Young now probably goes up the board a little bit because he's now got another weapon.
Yep. Their running backs take it like Chuba and Rico, just because their offense is going to be better, more opportunities for touchdowns.
Yeah. This is going to be awesome, this pick here. I think it's going to be Calvin Banks for sure, though. And then what? Do we think the Bears might go Tyler Warren then, if that's the case? I think it's the play.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. Because, a lot of they're good offensive tackles. Yeah, especially if Banks goes. Bears taking Hampton. Matt Carmody. That would be absolute carnage. I'd love it. I'd love if they took Hampton at 10.
Yeah. I like Matt Carmody. He's a big fan of mine, so I'm a big fan of his. So well done to Matt Carmody. But I think that's a good pick if they go Hampton.
Let's see. The pick is in.
What we got?
Calvin Banks. There you go, Mav.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a teardrop off for offensive tackles, I think. After
it will now. Yeah, for sure. So the Bears is probably the most intriguing pick here, man. Look, Sanfran, I think, will go defensive linesman.
Yep. Yeah, they lost a lot.
And then I think the Bears go Tyler Warren. I really do think they do that. And then the Cowboys would go Matthew Golden. And then the Dolphins would probably go corner.
Honestly, I think Dolphins might trade back. They need a lot of help. They might be a prime trade back.
And then they've got the Colts will have an option of Warren or Loveland. That's a tough pick. It's a tough pick.
It's been first time pick's been a good draft so far. Definitely worth the wait.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Best pick is in.
He's massive, this guy, man. He's massive.
How big is he?
Huge.
6'5", 315. Yeah, wow.
He's a big physical offensive tackle. He'll be decking blokes left to right and center. Doesn't remind me of myself.
He's looked very similar too, Mav. Wouldn't be able to tell he's apart in person.
Yeah. I'd be better. A quarter of his size. Matt Carmody back in the chat here. It's okay. I'm a Packers fan, so I'm just happy the Bears didn't get Genty. Lol. Fair shout. You don't want to be in the same division as that. So, if that's the missing piece for the Bears not getting Genty, then fair enough too. So, all right, picks in. Who we got, man? Who we got? What do we think?
I think Tyler Warren. We'd say I reckon they go Loveland. Deadly Loveland over Warren could be a possibility. Could very well be.
I mean, I think Warren's a play.
I think he's more NFL ready right now.
Yeah. He could be like your Brock Bowers.
Yep.
What have we got here? Like a halftime performance or some shit?
Oh, I hope not. I just want to see the picks. Give us the picks.
Yeah. Are they doing a schedule release, are they?
I completely missed that. Oh, yeah, schedule it. Oh, yeah.
Jesus, they love to put some shit in the NFL draft, don't they?
Anything they can get, just with all these people watching. Yeah.
Anything, mate. Oh. You know what, mate? I'm keen for a mock draft next week.
Yeah, that'll be coming out. That will be spicy. Hopefully the trio back in action.
Yeah. I'm really, really keen for a mock draft next week. We might just split up between us three and go 1 for 1, I reckon. But really keen for a mock draft. Hopefully we can get some more picks today, really. Some offensive weapons today, really.
I mean, we're only a third of the way through, Mav. We've just got
I know.
So much more can happen.
I know. We got Mick here in the green room. He's ready to go. I'm going to bring him in.
He's pumped.
He's ready to go. Let's bring him in.
Oh, you made it. You know you've made it in life when you get invited to a specialist podcast. I can see Deadly in the chat. All these boys. This is very fun.
Matt Carmody's in the chat too.
I love that. G'day, Matty. Hey, Deadly's my number one super fan, mind you, and I'm Travis Hunter's number one super fan. So I've actually just gotten off the PlayStation, and yes, Deadly, I'm 100 years old, but just fiddling around with the Colorado wide receiver Travis Hunter, and man, he's so good to use in video games.
Yeah. Mick, I was going to get you in 11:15. You might as well join us now. I was going to leave at 11:15, but the Cowboys are coming up very shortly, so I'm going to stick around for the Cowboys pick and then piss off to the footy. Go Dons. So that will be my play here. But what do the Bears do here? Damo, what we got?
I got Tyler Warren.
So do I.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Mick?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think they're going to go Loveland. Do you think they just stick with Komet for a little bit longer, or
probably not?
I don't like Jalen Walker. I like as well.
Yeah.
Linebacker. Someone who surprising to me who hasn't gone. I've just got to check my notes to make sure he hasn't gone yet. Will Johnson from Michigan, the corner.
Oh yeah.
He was projected as a top 5 pick for a long part of last season, and he's dropping. He could be a nice little pickup now, a nice little sleeper pickup.
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. He's slipped big time. All right.
Are you guys actually watching the footage, are you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cut it live.
Go on live.
Yeah, I'll have to bring it up.
I'm a few seconds behind though, so that's fine. That's what happens out in Frankston, mate.
Franganistan.
But no, I think Tyler Warren's a big.
Has there been any surprises to you boys so far this draft? As we see, the Bears took Loveland.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. He was a bit of an underdog to go first tight end. I think he was paying like $4.
Wow.
Caleb Williams stocks up.
Big time. He was spoken about in regards to having good route running abilities, and he's got massive hands. So use your imagination at home for what else that's good for, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll tell you what, 6'6", tight end, good route runner. You're right. Williams stocks have just gone up just a little bit here.
They have, yeah. They have. I agree with that. They're just going through his draft profile now. Agile, separation skills. Yards after the catch is also a big thing for Colston Loveland. But also, man, I see they're comparing him to Mark Andrews here. Like, we're talking prime Mark Andrews. Deadly's in the chat here. He knows ball. He does not. He
does not.
Oh, man. But anyway, Loveland was the pick, and I don't mind it. I don't love it. I would have preferred Tyler Warren personally. I think he's probably the closest in this draft to like a Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta. But hey, I think the Colts will be pretty happy with that too, though. But hey, look, they know more than me. They've scouted him. They've worked him out. I haven't done any workouts with Colson Loveland before. I'd probably train the house down with him if I did, though. But, yeah, interesting pick. I would be interested to see what report grade that one. I
think addressing that pass catching room even more. I mean, we've seen Ben Johnson, those offensive minded head coaches come in. Travis Hunter, with Liam Cohen. These new offensive minded coaches, they're making a statement. They are making an absolute statement. And I think, Mick, just to go back to your question earlier about the biggest surprises in this draft, we have to talk about Travis Hunter there. That was nobody saw that coming at all. But what do you think of the fit there, Mick, at the Jags?
I actually like it. A lot of people are going to be skeptical on how much Jacksonville gave up for him, but we've seen in the past that one superstar can make a difference. As long as he stays healthy, he can play both sides of the ball. So you look at it from that point of view. Did the Jags give up too much? Probably. But then you look at it from the other point of view, and that he could play corner and he could play wide receiver. So you've effectively just drafted two players that are elite at both positions.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah. Because he was projected best wide receiver talent, best cornerback talent of the whole class. Yeah, like you said, Mick, 2 picks in one. They're probably whatever first round pick next year. It's not going to get any better than this. So,
and I'll ask you, Damo, and while the Maverick's still here before he goes watch the Flag Dons win by 10 goals, do you think he tanked his pro day? Like he didn't perform to the level that we had anticipated, given his athletic traits, and like his vert is off the charts, his speed is unreal, and then he runs sub times in the 40-yard dash. He's vertical, not great. So you're like, well, were there teams that he was trying to avoid at the top end of this draft? Is that how he was trying to tank his draft stock? Or like it's really interesting once you look into the numbers behind it all as to why he didn't perform as well as he did on his pro days.
That's a very interesting point. I mean, compared to where he was projected to go to the Browns, potentially that could be the case because Jags is a much more, better laid out landing spot than what the Cavs, what he would be going into the Cavs. I also think that he just had so much on tape already. He just didn't really have anything to prove or really anything that he needed to go over the top 4. He was happy. He knew he was going to be a top 3 guy no matter what. But yeah, it very well could have been the case in his head. And, seeing him when he got called out where he was dancing and feeling good, he might be very, very happy with that result because of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You could be on the money with that one, Mick.
For sure.
Deadly's has gone Niners go edge here, surely. I agree. I 100% agree with that. I think they're going to get another weapon here for Nick Bosa.
Which edge do you think?
Walker, he's not really an edge, but he's a linebacker.
Yeah.
They have to go defense here, though. They don't need offense at all.
No.
They could go O-line. They lost that guy that went to the Chiefs. He was supposed to play behind Trent Williams.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, they could Trent Williams. He's old as anything. I think he's 35 or 36. So,
I really like James Peace Jr. here for the Niners. Well, that's my projection anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's versatile. Yeah, he can line up in a lot of different ways. I think for me, I'm taking O-line just to, if they've got to pay Brock Purdy, you've got to keep him upright. So, but yeah, we'll see.
What are they at corner?
Corner, it could be on the cards too. They lost. Some guy went to the Colts. I can't remember his name.
Corner could be a play.
So I think Will Johnson maybe goes here as well.
Yeah, it could be the spot. Could be a great value.
Yeah, Niners are historically known for having good defense as well, so it would make sense.
Yeah, and they brought in Robert Saleh as well. I'm sure he wants to get more pieces on that D line.
Yeah, I think Cal Williams will be the pick here, man.
Okay.
Cal Williams, should I say?
They like taking their time, don't they? They should just punch it
They
out.
do, yeah. They love it. It's a great time for advertising for the NFL. So
Yeah.
they love doing that. All right, what we got? It's almost like WrestleMania, this, isn't it? They love sort of just dragging it on.
Taking full advantage of the screen time.
Yeah.
At least day 2's like, I think the clock is halved to 5 minutes and they just absolutely roll out picks on day 2. So that'll be, tomorrow's going to be, I completely forgot that we've got another couple of days of this. It's just been such a red hot start.
Yeah, tomorrow's a 9 a.m. start, day 2. So I think it goes for 3-4 hours. So.
Yep. You'll just be getting home then, won't you?
Yeah. I'm not built for that anymore, mate. What we got, Mullin? Mikal Williams.
Oh, they took Williams.
Williams.
Okay.
Good pick. Safe pick.
Sorry for spoiling it for you guys.
That's all good, Mav.
Matthew Golden here, boys, for the Cowboys.
Could be Hampton. That would shake things up. I'd love to see Hampton go there.
You're a Cowboys man, aren't you, Maverick?
Yeah.
Oh, hope they take a kicker.
So, yeah, we got Polly here in the chat. Matthew Golden is the pick here, Polly, I think. Yeah, I'd be shocked if they did anything else. I would be shocked. I think it's a good pick too. I think it's a really good pick. He's come a long way, Matthew Golden. He was mocked at the late first round. So he's climbed over the last month big time. So one of the biggest climbers in the draft, actually. So I think he's the pick, man. I think he's the pick. They need to help at wide receiver. They've got CeeDee Lamb and no one else really. They've got Tolbert there. It's probably number 2. So there's a big hole there at wide receiver. They've just paid Dak a lot of cash. Lot of cash. You want to give him another weapon to play with if you're paying him $60 million a year.
For 3 games a year.
For 4.5, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's the play. I mean, the backup's fine too, might I add. Joe Milton. Anyway.
Hey, before you do go, we're going to use this time to give out a little ad read of our own. And Insight Fantasy Sports are fortunate enough to have our sponsors on board, which are Draft Stars, which also do NFL as well as AFL, NRL, and the like. So download the Draft Stars app right now to compete against other sports fans across Australia and New Zealand for a huge prize pool. There are no season-long commitments, and you can enjoy new contests every day. There is nothing like the thrill of Draft Stars. So once the NFL season kicks off, there's going to be sign-up codes through Insight Fantasy Sports, and you're going to be eligible to go into Insight Fantasy Sports only groups where you only guys that are subscribed to the channel or use the link, which will be in the description below, can enter and win. There is guaranteed prize pools in every Insight League. So very exciting from our point of view.
Massive, man. I love Draft Stuff too. It's so fun. Such an addictive game too, which is fantastic. It's daily fantasy.
It is.
It's awesome. Here we go, boys. The pick's in.
Wrong, Mav. Tyler Booker, guard.
They did mock him a few times.
Yeah.
He's not going to be very good at wide receiver.
No, that's okay. I'm actually okay with that one. They just lost Zach Martin too, so
it's a good pick.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm actually okay with that. It was either him or Matthew Golden. I'm cool. Good pick, solid option. And then look, the Cowboys can still trade up and get Luther Burden or something like that. They can still address that wide receiver. But I don't mind the pick, man. I really like it. And yeah, the offensive line is weak at the moment at the Cowboys. So if you're using first round capital into offensive linesmen, I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal Damo's point here that he's got in the chat, mate. Interesting to note that with the Bears drafting Loveland, the last top 10 tight end to sign a second contract with the team that picked him up in the draft was Vernon Davis nearly 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's going back. That's going way back.
Big risk.
I mean, Cole Pitts, he's about to get that second contract to Falcons. There's no
Brock
way.
Bowers will be the exception.
Yeah, Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta was second round.
Oh, no, he wasn't. Yeah, that's right. He wasn't top 10.
I'll tell you what, going back to Brock Bowers into his second year, Ashton Genty, first year running back at the Raiders. Young and exciting there. Yeah, they might not be very good for another couple of years, but that's a very exciting young core that they've got there to lock in.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, and that's the gunslinger too. So it's great. It's actually fantastic. They still need help at wide receiver. They still have Myers there, who's fine, but he's not really your number one, really. But he'll be fine. But yeah, anyway. All right, gents, I'm off to the footy. I'm going to love yous and leave yous, and have a good call, boys. Hopefully the Cowboys move up and pick up Golden again.
We'll see. Have a good time, mate.
See you, brother. Go Dons.
Go Dons.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a look here for round 2 to see what picks we have left for these guys.
Finally, we've got the handbrake that was holding us back, Mullin. We're off now.
The Cowboys fan, he's out of here.
Oh, unreal. I mean, yeah, the best part of the Cowboys year was seeing Maverick on this stream for an hour. So.
No,
what do you got for us there, mate?
So looking at here, the Raiders, talking about the Raiders with Genty and whatnot, they do have their early second round pick still. So I think they definitely can address more of that offense if they need to. I think wide receiver, definitely there's going to be options there at the start of the second. Even offensive tackle, I know there's still going to be guys down there just to beef up that offense. I don't think they're done dealing with the offense. I'll just say that. I think they're going to really hammer it and try and make a big impact to get the ground running with Pete Carroll in there. So,
gotcha.
But just wanted to jump in there, Mick, with the draft stars mentioned earlier. Just to throw in an early teaser, we will be doing a betting show in the NFL season coming up, and draft stars, there is going to be suggestions there. So if you guys get in there key now with the draft stars of NRL and AFL, just comes to show when the NFL season comes around, we're going to be fully locked into that, trying to give you our picks for the week and our value to try and win everyone a little bit of money. That's the goal.
That's awesome. The AFL group, I can't give away too much from within the AFL group, but we're slowly building quite a big community in there. Awesome. And the Insight community were well up and well in the green last week. So we're using our football knowledge in order to help you guys at home win a couple of extra dollars in your back pocket. So we do remind people to Lockie Bramble responsibly, which is gamble responsibly.
For sure.
And you only gamble within your means. So if it means you've got the choice between putting food on the table for your family or you're gambling, you're not gambling. We sort of put a bit of a lock on that to make sure that family and your life comes first before you gamble.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Mick. Couldn't agree. And that's one of the great things about fantasy. You can kind of have a little gamble within that, and it's not going to cost you anything. You're not playing with the food on the table. So yeah, it's if you're a sports fan, there's so many avenues to help get your fix.
100%.
I know for me, absolute fantasy degen across the board all year round, especially NFL. So yeah, this is the place for it. Insight Fantasy Sports. We'll give it to you all year long across many different sports. So yeah, tune in.
That's the beauty of this network now, in that, like, we are all year round with NFL, with you guys, NBA, with our man G Wiz, NRL, NBL, AFL, BBL, you name it. the sports running, we've got it covered here at Insight. So your one-stop shop for all sports all year round.
It just doesn't stop, Mick. When
No, it
you were just
doesn't.
naming them all off, it just keeps going. But yeah, heaps of content.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think goes to Miami here? So back to NFL for a second.
Yep.
They're pretty loaded on the offensive side of the ball, aren't they? They've got A-Chain at running back. They've got Tua at quarterback. They've got Waddle and Hill. Oh, no, Hill's – is he on the move?
He's still there. Yeah, I think
he
should be there to start the season, I think.
Yeah. Do you think they need to address defense?
They definitely do. I think offensive tackle is a really big need for them as well, because we saw without Tua, their offense just goes to absolute dust. So I think they really need to prioritize protecting him and keeping him upright. But maybe with that Tyler Booker pick just then by the Cowboys, they kind of sniped the Dolphins there. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. But yeah, definitely the two big needs, that defensive side and also the O-line. But see what comes in. Should be good.
Oh, the pick is in. Okay. Oh, yeah, you've got that there. O-line, yeah.
Yep.
Who's left with O-line that you'd look at? Like your Banks, he's gone. He was probably my number one alongside Will Campbell.
Yep.
Membo's gone as well. Okay. So there's already 3 offensive tackles taken.
Yeah. Tyler Booker, guard, got taken then. Let me try and have a look and see.
Josh Simmons from Ohio State.
Yeah.
And Josh Connolly, they're probably the 2 top projected offensive tackles.
And those guys,
they're sort of later in the next round. They could nearly trade down and still get them.
Or even these picks where everybody's hammering it early could force teams to reach up a little bit and address their most important needs. But we'll see. What do we got there? So what are you thinking, Mick? You're thinking defensive side?
Yeah, I'm with Carmody on this one. I think they go D-line. Yeah. I think, outside of their O-line and protecting Tua, I think D-line's their next biggest issue that they need to address. Yeah, they've got the guns, they've got the flair, but along with that, you need stability and you need consistency. So, and we see they've taken Kenneth Grant.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What do you know about him?
So I know in a lot of mocks he was projected kind of that early 20s. But I also know one of the analysts, I don't know if it was Daniel Jeremiah. No, it wouldn't have been him, but they really rate Kenneth Grant over Mason Graham. They thought that a lot of Mason Graham's production on that Michigan edge was a lot of Kenneth Grant laying the dirty work. So I think he's a very, at Michigan, we know those Michigan defensive guys are just absolutely dialed in and ready for the NFL straight off the bat. He's a big dude. He's a massive dude. 6'3", 330 pounds. Oh,
fucking hell. He's almost the size of Maverick. Yeah.
Yeah. I know if I'm a quarterback, if that's running at me, I'm running the other way. No, good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sort of gone under the radar for me anyway, a little bit. I didn't have him this high up on my board. But some of the pros that he's got is that he's quick on his feet or light on his feet, and he's got long arms as well. So you combine that with his ability to reach and stretch and hassle the quarterback. It's probably a sneaky little win there for Miami at 13.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And I think a lot of people, have fallen in love with Grant's traits. And I see a lot of people are more going so with traits over production, because Kenneth Grant, he didn't really have that production in college as high as what we'd like, but just the traits are just going over the top of everything. But yeah, no, he's pumped. Going to Miami. Yeah, that's a big pickup for them. But in terms of fantasy, Mick, it's not a sexy pick.
No, it's not.
But we could have a sexy pick coming up here at the Colts.
I'll tell you what, if they go Tyler Warren, I'll be very excited. Lifelong Peyton Manning fan. I was never really a supporter of the Colts, but loved watching him play. and Tyler Warren to give A-Rich another offensive weapon, I think makes sense here.
It does. He needs a lot of help. You know, his accuracy is definitely going to lift up, but if they can put more weapons around him and just make it easier, they can lean more into his rushing side then as well. His special gifts. So it would be a great pick.
I want to plant the seed with you as well, Mullin, here while we wait for the pick to come in. Falcons have got the next pick, and you would imagine that their quarterback of the future is Penix Jr.
Yep.
Is there a chance that they look to go Shadur Sanders there, or do you think that's too much of a stretch?
You'd hope not, but given what they did last year, especially after signing Kirk Cousins to
that's right,
absolute blockbuster deal, and then picking Penix at 8 or 9 and surprising everyone,
it doesn't make sense, but
it doesn't,
it's the Falcons.
No. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's Tyler Warren coming in now.
Beautiful,
coming to fruition. He's been mocked at the Colts 80% of the time all off season, so it's good to see that one come in.
Yep. If the ladies and gentlemen at home watching don't know what Tyler Warren's about, go watch his highlights package. He's a big tight end, 6'6", 256 pounds. And my God, his hands are awesome. I love this pick for Indiana.
Yeah, he can do it all. His yards after the catch ability, people were kind of comparing him to McBride, Trey McBride a little bit. So
yeah.
If you can put him in space, he just bodies guys. He puts his shoulders in. He's not afraid to get down and dirty. He's an absolute dog. He's got that dog in him. It's a great pick. And like Damo's throwing up here, Warren to the Colts is a nice sneaky fantasy pick. I think looking at this here,
he goes straight to tight end 1.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be close. I think a lot of people, it'll be whichever flavor they prefer out of Loveland and Warren. Where do you kind of sit on that side, Mick, between those two guys?
I've always been more of a Warren fan than Loveland. It all depends. So Chicago picked up a few offensive linemen during the trade period to protect Caleb Williams. He is known to be a scrambling type quarterback, but we've seen it all depends on his progression, I guess. So does he take that next step and become, your top 10 even quarterback this year, which will then in turn make Loveland, I believe, more of an option for fantasy? Or is it the safe Tyler Warren, big target for Richardson? Has he really had that in his time at Indianapolis? He's had a lot of speed on the outside with wide receivers, but no real safe security type of tight end that he can just go to when he's being rushed in the pocket, so to speak.
I mean, give it with the tight end room that they've had for the last couple of years, it may as well be you or me running out there, Mick, in that spot. So, it's an absolutely massive upgrade. And Richardson last year, Pittman was a pretty much a write-off season for him, dealing with that back stuff. Josh Downs was injured. Yeah, they're really trying to help out Richardson, which is great to see. And if I know their O-line took a little bit of a hit as well during the off season, Tyler Warren is a nasty blocker. You'd hope that he's not used in that way for fantasy, but he can get that job done to also fill that hole. So yeah, Richardson stock. I kind of think I'd like to see what side you're on, Mick. I'm kind of under the assumption that Danny Dimes is going to win out that job. I think Richardson needs more time, and if they're splitting first team reps, he's not going to get enough work to kind of take that next level where he needs to be. And
does that mean they're conceding that he may not be the quarterback they thought he might be?
I think so. Yeah, after picking up Danny Dimes, I think so for sure.
Wow.
Just because the league lowest passing completion percentage, I think it was in the 50s, which is just absolutely dismal.
That's garbage, yeah.
But yeah, that one to be one to watch during the off season, because we know Anthony Richardson for fantasy, his ceiling is so high. We saw what he is. If he's on the field, he can get 20 points easily, just given that rushing ability. And if he does take that next step as a passer, oh my goodness, the sky's the limit. So yeah, hopefully he can get there, but I'm on the side that I don't think he can.
Damo's got here that Colts said they wanted a playmaking tight end. Well, they definitely got one.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, when you're talking tight ends this year, Tucker Kraft for me is the one that's standing out to be the one that takes the biggest jump out of those that were at the tight end position last year. We saw your Brock Bowers and they had monster seasons. But Tucker Kraft, he's a big, big boy and safe hands. And he showed a bit last year too. I think he's ready and poised for a breakout year.
I agree. And given that pass catching room as is, he's got a very strong chance to be the number one pass catcher. I know he wasn't too far off in targets and receptions last year. And especially with the wide receivers that have gone off the board. I know Tet was mocked to Green Bay in a couple of spots. If they don't address within the first 2 rounds, he well and truly could be the belle of the ball for that pass catching room. So I love the call. Very explosive. We saw what he was doing with yards after the catch, and he's a red zone threat. So
yeah,
definitely primed to take the next step. I love that call.
Beautiful. So yeah, the Dirty Birds. You really don't know what they're going to do when it comes to the draft period. We saw last year they signed Cousins to that monster contract, pick Penix at 9. You get it when you're talking, and I guess NFL's different to your AFLs and your NRLs, that they like giving high draft picks a year on the sidelines to learn the playbook, learn what happens behind the scenes, get a grip as to what goes on in everyday NFL life before they do become starters. So they're more accustomed to the NFL environment. So given that, we'll say Penix is their QB1. They're not going to worry about Sanders. Where do you think they go? So they've got Darnell Mooney. They've got the guy that his name's slipping me, Cole Pitts, who's meant to be the biggest breakout tight end for the past 3 years and has done sweet FA in those 3 years.
Yeah.
Where do you think they go? Do you think they address defense?
I think they have to. I think that defensive edge, whether a D tackle up the middle or on that edge, I think they have to. Jalen Walker, he's available here, and I thought he would have gone earlier than this, so I think they're getting a huge value. But yeah, like you said earlier, they could be completely left field and surprise us with this one. But I know if I was a Falcons fan, I'd just be praying that they address that defense.
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to go direct as to pick one, but I think there's going to be 3 that they have to choose from here. So Jalen Walker, you nailed it early. And then you got James Pierce Jr. Yep. But then you've also got Will Johnson, who has slid massively. I think they're your 3.
Yeah, and he'd be paired with, who do they have there? Is it Jesse Bates?
Yep.
For the Falcons,
is he strong safety or free safety? Not sure, but he's a future gun. Like, he's really good at his position.
I think, they can't go wrong. Defense is, if they go outside of defense, they can go wrong. But any defensive position, I think, they'd be stoked with. But the pick is in. We'll just have to. Here we go. And they do still have their second round pick. So I think they probably double tap defense in the first 2 rounds, if I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, I think they need to. And then, after Atlanta here, the pick is in, but then we've got the Cardinals, who are quite exciting on offense. A couple of teams that are really exciting on offense coming up, Arizona Cardinals and the Bengals, who we see have got Burrow, they've got Higgins, they've got, who's the name slipped my mind?
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Very exciting there at the Bengals. So it'd be interesting to see where they go as well. But you could nearly make a case that the next 3 teams need defense as well.
Oh, for sure. Especially the Bengals investing so much in those three guys that you just mentioned. Like, they got the absolute bags during this offseason. Their defense, they were putting up 30-odd points a game and they were still losing. They didn't make the playoffs with the year that Joe Burrow had. Any other year, if Bengals were in the playoffs, Burrow would be MVP in my head. That's just the season that he had. I think it would just be absolutely crude if they didn't go defense here. And I think for the Cardinals, I saw a sneaky mock of Emeka Egbuka going to the Cardinals here, which would be, you kind of think of the continuity being paired with Marvin Harrison like they were at Ohio State. Could be money. Could be money. Pickers in.
And they've taken Jalen Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, good pick. Georgia defensive players, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, breeding ground for that there. So see, Jalen Walker's a 6'1", 240-odd pound linebacker out of Georgia, ranked as the number 2 linebacker in this draft and 4th overall.
Wow,
according
huge
to
value.
Yeah, huge value there.
Oh, the Falcons fans, I can just see them taking a big sigh of relief after that one. They'd be happy. I'd be very happy.
Brody Moss, is there anything this horse bloke can't do? AFL, no. You ask my missus, mate, I cannot cook. There you go. I am not perfect.
Mate, AFL and NFL, that's all you need.
Oh.
Sports, anything sports, that's nothing else matters.
We'll give a shout out to our sponsors as well here, the Standard Squeeze, who have been with us since day one. Use the promo code IFS2025 to get yourself 15% off anything in store. They are helping you drink responsibly and conveniently. Cardinals now. Egbuka, that would be disgusting.
Yeah, I think it'd be such a sexy pick. And I think that would catapult him in rookie fantasy drafts.
Oh, wouldn't it?
106, 107, maybe. I could see him going ahead of tight ends if he's put on that scenario.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd be this could be a good one, Mick.
6'1", 200 pounds, fast, very fast, and has got great hands.
And
man.
Everybody loves him. You see a lot of the media. All these teams are just saying Egbuka is just a can't miss prospect in that wide receiver position.
High character guy. Yep.
Yep. Team captain, locker room guy.
It's amazing what those sorts of people do. And it's not just in the NFL, but any organization, any professional sporting organization, you get someone that's got good character, team first kind of guy, but also at the elite end when we're talking talents in this draft pool, you'd almost say you've got to have him, because even if the talent isn't there in other positions, chemistry does a wonderful thing to a team. And if you've got guys that are pumping each other up and, just help your lesser knowns get to that next level, then that's worth its weight in gold.
Oh, absolutely agree. And just having him in there, he could completely change the culture of a team. And yeah, like you're saying, it's worth its weight in gold. It's just I guess we'll just wait and see. The pick, we're still waiting on it. Could be a possible trade back scenario. I hope not.
Has it just been the one trade, the big trade with Travis Hunter?
Only the one.
Far?
Yeah, only the one. I thought there might have been a little bit more, but
I was going to say, has that surprised you?
It has. I think there will be more trades coming in. Probably the early 20s with these quarterbacks, with Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders still being on the board. I think that's probably where we get a little bit more action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean we were absolutely spoiled with the Jags trading up to 2 there. Completely took everybody by surprise. Much better landing spot for Travis Hunter.
We say that drafting players is all about getting the best player in the draft or the best player that's available at that position. Do you think the Jags have also done this, not just from a talent point of view, but the media, the revenue that this could potentially bring in for them as well?
Absolutely. I mean, they're just thinking of Travis Hunter jersey sales. I want a Jags Travis Hunter jersey. So, think about that plus all the other people that are on board in the NFL. Yeah, he's very polarizing, super polarizing guy, generational talent. Yeah, in terms of media, they've got him. If he comes out during the press conference after and hits us all with a little Duval impression, impersonation, that would just be the cream of the crop. But yeah, I think he's definitely changed the dynamic of the Jags, and bringing in Liam Cohen as a head coach. Future's bright for those guys after the down couple of years they've had.
How do you see Trevor Lawrence bouncing back? So I've always rated him pretty highly, but he just hasn't had the tools nor the playbook to be able to excel at his position. He's a big quarterback. he can move outside of the pocket as well. He's shown scrambling ability in the past. In the right playbook, with the right offensive coordinator, with the right tools around him, he could be really, really nice.
I think with Travis Hunter, because I've been slowly banging the drum for Trevor Lawrence this offseason. I've got him as a buy in a few places. I think with Liam Cohen, what we saw him do with Baker Mayfield had 450 or 500 rushing yards last year, like just kind of out of nowhere. Trevor Lawrence, huge body. It would not surprise me at all if we see the same production. And having that with Travis Hunter and BTJ, he could easily throw for 30, 35 touchdowns. He could be a top 5 quarterback by the end of the season. I think that's his absolute ceiling, is probably that 5 spot. But I mean, mid 5 to 10, anywhere in that range, you'd be very happy. And I can definitely see it happening this year.
Yeah. So I want to address what Carmody's put in the chat here, mate. So he can see the Browns trading back into the first round to grab a Sanders or a Dart. I think they have to. Their quarterback room is so shallow right now. With, you would say, is Winston still there as their number 1?
No, so they've got Flacco. Flacco's the new. They've got Flacco and Kenny Pickett.
Flacco.
Yeah, so not much to choose from.
As we see Walter Nolan, the 6'4" defensive tackle, go to the Cardinals. So Egbuka is still there. You could not put Egbuka beside Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That would be disgusting.
Wouldn't be fair. Wouldn't be fair. But yeah, for the Cardinals, big pick, big defensive tackle. This class is very, very stacked in that area. And their defense was definitely lacking last year. So I think they've still got their second round pick, so they could easily look to address that offense. Do they? Yep, they're picking 15 in the second round. There should be some nice pass catching weapons around that area, or they might even trade back up, but can't go wrong with a big D tackle.
In the first round here, so Bengals don't need a quarterback. Seattle, they've just signed old mate from the Vikings. His name slipped my mind at the moment.
Oh, JJ.
They've got not JJ. JJ is the quarterback of the future with the Vikings.
Oh, sorry.
Who'd they trade for? They signed. Sorry. He played quarterback there last year and did a good job until he choked in the finals.
Oh, Sam Darnold. Sorry, man.
Sam Darnold. Yeah. So he's there. Tampa Bay are right for a QB.
Yep.
Bronco country. They've got Knicks.
Knicks, yeah, they're fine.
Yep. Maybe Pittsburgh go a QB. Chargers don't. Green Bay don't. Vikings don't. Texans don't. LA. Is LA's time to grab a QB to bench him for the year to learn off Matthew Stafford now the time? Or do you wait? I'm just looking at areas here of QB in the first round. And do Cleveland need to trade back into the first round to grab Dart or Sanders? Or do you think, because they've got round 2, pick 1, do you think they grab him there?
I think they're going to have to move up in the first round. I think teams are going to be trying to get one of these 2 remaining top prospects in the quarterback position. Steelers make a whole lot of sense. They might feel pretty comfortable because, like you mentioned, not a lot of teams need a quarterback that's left. I think Tampa could be a very big trade back spot. They don't really have any glaring holes. I think they'd be more than happy to try and pick up a little bit more in this draft. I think very, very positive about a team moving up and drafting a quarterback in the first round. Just because in that first round as well, they get the 5th-year option, which is if they're going to get a quarterback, just having that extra year on that rookie deal just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe at 19 we might see some moves.
Yeah, you're right, Polly. Bengals do need to take something defensive. I reckon they need linebacker help more than anything. Oh, there you go. You've got it there. I'm just thinking their corners are okay without being fantastic. They've got, is it Hendrickson on the edge?
Yep.
He's a nice pass rusher.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry?
Yet to be paid. He's a bit frustrated. He's waiting on a big contract. He might even be a sneaky trade.
Right.
In this class if they can kind of fill that hole, because he'd he'd be worth, like, especially after the money Miles Garrett got, he could be worth 30 mil a year, and I just don't think they've got that in the cap.
Well, there was a strong safety I was reading yesterday. Someone got signed to the largest ever deal for a strong safety in NFL history. Is it Branch from the Lions?
Yeah, it is Branch. I saw that too.
Yeah.
Yep. They signed him to
So
3 or 4 year deal.
If they're paying 80 mil, and I know his numbers were elite when we're talking interceptions, pass deflections, and how he rated for in his defensive scheme, but if you're paying 80 mil to a strong safety, then what's the price going to be for an edge rusher? Like, I see them as more value than the strong safety.
Yep. Absolutely. And we saw with Miles Garrett getting 40 mil a year, Micah Parsons still yet to be paid. You'd think he's going to be up in that area as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have to take that area, Mick. I think, but I'd be very, very surprised if they take offense. There's not a lot of offensive tackles left that would be kind of in that range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think defense has to be the pick here.
So the pick is in, is it?
Yep, pick is in, so no trades happening. Hawks are on the clock.
Got Damo a bit in the chat too. He's going to be joining us shortly as well, talking all things NFL. A wealth of knowledge, not just in the NFL space, but AFL as well. So looking forward to chewing the fat, all things NFL with him.
Double Damos, the insight community has just been spoiled this morning. So
absolutely.
Looking forward to it. Can this NFL draft can talk about this all day long, and we'll be until the end of the first round tomorrow. We'll be back in here when round 2 starts off. Just trying to cover it all and go over all the fantasy implications and kind of how that looks for 2025 and on. But yeah, love this time of the year. Absolutely love this time of year.
For the people that are in the chat as well, if you want to get your year-long NFL knowledge, quotes, insights, at Mullin_FF, you can find him on Twitter. Just click the follow button. He is dropping stuff every day in there. So it's easy just to keep up to date if you're following him and you see him pop up on your screen and go, oh, something's happened here. Let's like that. So Mullin_FF on Twitter, or X, I think they call it these days for us non-old heads.
Yep. All right, the pick is in. Shamar Stewart, defensive end.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a big traits guy. Not a lot of college production, but his traits are just through the roof.
Holy shit, look at his getup.
Yeah. What's that, a big gorilla?
He's not even wearing a shirt under his jacket. That just screams aura.
Yep.
He'll fit in with the Bengals Showtime type of way they go about things. But man, what's 6'5", 265 from Texas A&M? He's a big dude. But you're right. He didn't really do a lot at college, but he had the best broad jump, the second best vertical jump, and out of all the edge defenders in the draft, his 1.58 10-yard split ranked 3rd, and his 40-yard dash was the 4th at his position. So physicality-wise, unreal.
Absolute freak of an athlete. And just to go on with that, Mick, Damo's thrown in here, his relative athletic score, so RAS score, was a 10, which is just, for a guy his size, his traits are just absolutely through the roof. So
I'm going to have to bring up a text because Morrell said that his RAS was 12, so he must be a physical beast.
Oh, he looks like it. Oh, God.
Doesn't he? Doesn't he? Is now a time to bring up that the NFL is coming to Australia in, is it 2026?
2026.
here at the
Yep.
MCG, and it hasn't been confirmed yet, but the Insight Fantasy Sports Network are going to be running a little competition in time that you may win a ticket to watch the Philadelphia Eagles here at the MCG. So like, subscribe, put the bell on, give us a thumbs up to this video, and keep in touch with us because you do not want to miss the chance to win a ticket to watch the Philly Eagles here at the MCG when they do get here next year.
I think we just need to just bang on about this because if you're an NFL fan here in Australia, this will be the biggest spectacle that we'll be blessed with ever. Ever in the sport over here in Australia. And down there in Melbourne, I know for sure I'll be getting tickets there. So that's one less person to worry about competing in the giveaway. But yeah, it's going to be it'll be sold out. I think it'll sell out within.
There'll be 100,000 people there without a doubt.
Yep. No, it'll be awesome. Can't wait for that. I don't know if they've locked in the other team. I think the Rams are kind of
I've heard Rams
floating around. I know nothing's locked in yet, but yeah, even just the Philly Eagles, that Jordan Mailata over here in Australia. Yeah, it'll be oh man, I can't wait. And it's going to be an actual regular season game too. It won't just be
it's going to mean something.
A trial. Yeah. I think most likely from probably week 3 or 4 up until week 9. I think that's where they kind of have the international games in there. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you're someone like Philly or I guess it's not too bad there in LA, but if you've got, say, a Denver or someone coming across that playing snow, during those rounds, coming across to Australia and playing here in September, October, November, where it's just starting to heat up, be a blessing in disguise for them, won't it?
Absolutely. Or they could be struggling. They could struggle with the heat. Cover from that, but it'll be a huge spectacle. And I think, Mick, also the NFL, I think they signed on for multiple years. It's not just next year.
Yep. I think it's 2 years I've heard to start with, but once they see 100,000, which will probably be the most that the NFL's ever had to a game, they're going to find it very hard to say no for that to continue on. So we see the draft pick is in for Seattle. Their draft room is pretty happy with what they've done, giving each other high fives and stuff there. So
what do you think here, Mick?
Oh, shit. I don't know. So they've just picked up Darnold. He had a good year last year, but I think in order for him to be someone spoken about in your top 10 to 15 quarterbacks, he needs to be consistent.
Yep.
So he definitely needs help at wide receiver, especially after they got rid of Metcalf. So I could see them going Egbuka here, but then do they protect him or do they go Will Johnson and shore up their defense? Because the Legion of Boom was the big thing back in the day with your Shermans and the likes. Their defense was just fucking awesome. They were great to watch. Do they go back to defense and try and win games by strangling teams and then helping out the offense by having limited field to have to encounter, or what do they do? But here we go. They've picked up someone to protect Darnold. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he was a very top prospect as well. Grace Abel, very versatile. You can kind of play him all along that offensive line, and I think for me this was definitely their biggest need. But like you said, they could have went a few different ways. But just Sam Darnold, we've seen what he looks like under pressure. It's horrible. So definitely need to keep him upright and protect that investment.
He panics, doesn't he?
Yep. See this go. So no, big pickup, and man, a lot of tackles are going off the board. I wonder how this plays out because I know there is a few more offensive tackle needy teams. You've got the Texans who have a big hole there. Chiefs can definitely shore up that line after they got absolutely rinsed in the Super Bowl. Detroit Lions. No, that's a good pick. Well, if you're a Sam Darnold owner in fantasy, you're very happy with that pick, I think.
Yep, definitely. We're going to add another person to this stream. I'll hang around for a little bit longer before I take off. But this next person, the owner, the coordinator, the main voice behind the footy mailbag that you would have no doubt heard on audio. He's been a regular visitor on the Insight Fantasy Sports Network when we're talking footy. We're going to have him part of our NFL coverage this year as well. I'm pretty excited by it. Wealth of knowledge for all things fantasy footy. Welcome to the show, Damo. How you doing, brother?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, mate.
Great, mate.
You sporting the
Alright.
Green Bay Packers there?
Yep. I've blurted out, but I've also got my Bakhtiari jersey behind me as well.
Oh, love that. Normally it's your quarterbacks or your wide receivers or your running
Oh,
backs.
mate, I've also got a Christian Watson one, but that's like hidden behind it. So yeah, but the thing is, whenever I order a jersey, I curse the guy that I always buy the jersey of. So I've also got an AJ Dillon one, sort of just hanging out somewhere in my house. You know, he's an Eagle now and never really worked for the Packers, but you know, hey, you got to support the team the best you can.
That's right.
And Damo, you've come on at the right time, mate. Your Green Bay Packers coming up in a few picks here. I know we've got Tampa on the clock. We're just waiting on the pick to come in, but early insight into the Green Bay Packers pick. Who would you love? Who would be your go-to?
I would love them to break tradition and pick up Egbuka, or I know Jaden Higgins has been sort of being talked about as a late first-round pick as well, and he fits that Brian Gutekunst mold that he likes in his wide receivers. He's very particular when it comes to his RAS scores and his heights and weights of his receivers and cornerbacks and all that. But we still haven't seen Will Johnson taken, and
no.
And cornerback's another position that the Packers are, looking to bolster with. We don't know what's going to happen with Jair Alexander. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We see some big names still on the board, namely Luther Burden, who was projected to go quite highly. You've got Egbuka that's still there. We've got Shadur Sanders, who we think will go later. I'm pretty high on Quinton Judkins as well, the running back. I think he's going to provide some really good value. So there's still a lot of players here, and Johnson as well. So there's still some elite level talent sitting on the board, Mullin.
Yeah. Also Matthew Golden. He's still yet to be picked up. And that's one thing I actually wanted to ask. Damo, being the Packers stand, how would Matthew Golden look on that offense? You know, is he compared to the rest of the wide receivers there?
He's got the speed, but not the height that Gutekunst likes. But Gutekunst has drafted Jaden Reed, which doesn't fit the mold. But Jaden Reed's a bit of a different player, so he hasn't really gone outside his parameters too often since he's got there. And you pretty much know the types that the Packers are going to go after, and he's gone off the board now. But Shamar Stewart was basically that mold that he usually looks for in an edge player. So Goody has his guys. He has his guys that he likes to go for.
We see as well that you're going to be camping out at Ticket Tech once these tickets become available, to make sure you get some nice tickets for the Philly game next year, mate.
I know, like, I'm not close to like retirement or dying age, but going to an NFL game is probably bucket list material for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I had enough notice and money, attending the draft in Green Bay might have been on my list as well, but I hate flying, so especially long distance. It's got to take 20 hours or whatever. So I think going to an NFL game at the MCG is going to be the next best thing.
100%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are with you there, Damo, going to an NFL game. Absolute bucket list stuff. And the fact that we can do that in our own backyard next year is just, wouldn't believe it. We are well and truly blessed as sports fans over here in Australia.
As we see, the pick is in for Tampa.
Yeah, I think Buccaneers will go Will Johnson or Jahdae Barron.
Yeah, really going for best value, I think. You know, those guys have slipped.
Todd Bowles has not hidden the fact that they want a cornerback. And given those two guys are still on the board, Johnson, surprisingly, I can't see both of them being available beyond this point.
I'm massive on Johnson. I thought he'd go top 5. He's such a good corner.
Yeah, it's surprised because he could have went in a lot of places too. Definitely in that top 15. So
we'll wait for it to get announced by the here we go. It's going to surprise everyone.
Yeah, just while this pick is being undertaken, I would have thought. I know what have we got?
Sorry. Emeka Egbuka.
That doesn't make sense.
Wow.
That doesn't make sense.
Holy.
Why would they take? Why?
So you've got Mike Evans.
They've got Evans.
You've got Godwin. You've got Egbuka. You've got
Jalen McMillan. Yep, he's there.
Jalen McMillan. And you've got, is it McBride, the tight end?
Oh, no, they've got Kate Otten.
Kate Otten, sorry. I rate Kate Otten. I think he was good last year. So that offense is stacked.
Wow. Man, that's such a shame for fantasy, just for Egbuka. Like that'll kind of nuke his stock, I feel, in upcoming rookie drafts that people have. He's just in such a crowded room.
Is this going to, now that they've got him, do the other wide receivers there now become trade targets?
Yeah.
Well, how long does Mike Evans realistically have left in him?
Yeah.
I reckon he's been in the NFL 10, 11 years. And he's been a consistent 1,000-yard receiver for a lot of that. You know that once the wall hits, it hits quite dramatically for wide receivers. So do Tampa cash in now and go, all right, you've been awesome. Thank you for your service. But we're going Godwin. We're going Egbuka now, McMillan. So those three wide receivers alone, that's better than what some other teams have in itself already without Evans being mentioned there. So I think it's prime trade bait now. Get him while his stock's still high.
Yeah, and I think just looking at kind of the picks that were there left, or the players rather, that the Bucks could have chose from, they could have just thought best value left on the board as Egbuka. We heard all off season he was such a can't miss prospect in the wide receiver position. A lot of teams loved him. Maybe they just kind of scooped in first and just took control of that. So yeah, it's being paired to Baker Mayfield for the long term is great to see, and could even be a little blessing in disguise. You know, having to play behind Mike Evans and Godwin could pick up a few little extra things in the NFL. Man, yeah, wow, that's a big surprise.
Brewing. The Packers fans wanted Egbuka.
Yeah.
Hey, Damo, just from an AFL point of view, I know it's an NFL show, but Gross is being dropped this week, not playing, and Matt Carroll is playing. Cowan is playing twos.
So they've named Cowan on the extended bench.
Yeah,
but
so he's going to be
playing
playing twos. That's right.
That is strange.
Yep. And back to NFL, because AFL can wait till after this stream finishes, but lots going on in the AFL circles today.
Yeah, I pivoted to Charlie Spargo, and that was great.
Oh, no.
Good thing he was on my bench, but still. Ugh.
Charlie Spargo. What would you say the equivalent would be in NFL terms for those that don't watch AFL?
Yeah, I was just about to say, you guys are just speaking Chinese at the moment. Nowhere near.
Charlie Spargo is probably.
Remember that Richardson running back that got drafted high and then did nothing?
No, I was going to call him. Who was the running back that was at the Raiders at the beginning of last season?
Wasn't Alexander Madison. It was.
No, it was someone that he's been in the system 8 or 9 years.
Actually, Spargo's probably kind of like Gus Edwards.
Just the plotter.
Gus Edwards is a lot better.
He'll have a few good games where people want to trade for him because he's got a hot hand, but ultimately he just doesn't do a lot during games.
No.
Less than a yard per carry, kind of small forward.
Bronco country, next on the clock. Where are they going? Mullin. So we see that the experts say they need running back, wide receiver, corner, tight end, D-line. Is it finally time they pick up Will Johnson? Or because I think you can get a viable running back in rounds 3 or 4 and it's okay. As long as you've got good tackles and good run blockers, then you can make a running back happen later in your draft.
I think in this, yeah. Sorry, Damo. I just to jump in there. I think in this position, just to quickly give my 2 cents, I think Marion Hampton, I don't think he should fall any further than this. Given the running back needy teams behind the Broncos, that would just drastically improve that offense. Adding in Hampton, and he's a bit of a tier above the rest too. Trey Henderson's up there with the 2 remaining elite running back prospects, but I think if they can add him in, they're very, very high championship contenders, I think. But sorry, Damo.
Sorry, I should probably listen to to the question that Horse asked, because I just quickly went over to Twitter and found out that Chris Godwin is still injured, and they're not convinced that he will be fit in time for
really?
preseason. Apparently, he's still managing that injury. He's still managing a injury. I don't know if it's the injury that he had last year, but he is considered injured and not a not a week 1 lock at this stage. I know it's a long way out, but they're concerned by his overall fitness.
A sleeper that's still on the board, just to throw out my 2 cents before it goes, and I really, really like this player, and I was nearly going to be mentioning him as me being his number 1 fan, but it's Malachi Starks, the safety. He's such a good player, and I feel like Amir Abdullah, that's your running back. That's what Charlie Spargo's like. But Malachi Starks, I'm a huge fan of his. He's a big, imposing safety, lays some big hits, good hands as well. He'd be a massive asset to any defense, any team that picks him up. I thought he'd go earlier as well.
Yeah, I think maybe they could go that way. I mean, their defense is already elite with the pickups they've made during the offseason, but adding in Starks, oh God. You'd hate to be any team going up against that.
Yeah.
But the pick is in. Tight end, definitely not.
We
see that in their top needs. I know for DFAB, another host here on the NFL pod, he would be over the moon with Hampton. So a little bit in me is hoping that it isn't, but
is he a Broncos man, is he?
He's a Broncos man. Let's see.
To those that are watching this stream, while we're waiting for this next pick to come in, give us a thumbs up. Helps get us out into the algorithm. That is NFL football, NFL fantasy football on YouTube, on X, wherever you're watching this. So give us the heart, give us the thumbs up. If you're listening to us on audio when it is downloaded, give us that 5-star review. Helps get us out to other like-minded NFL fantasy-related people. Good to see the NFL giving an opportunity to a Make-A-Wish kid here to read out the draft pick for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, Jade Barron. Corner, really?
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
He slid.
Yeah.
And Broncos list, you got to go best available, and he was one of the best available on the board still. And Broncos don't have a lot of needs. They've got places where they could bolster, but they've got jars on the shelf in pretty much every position. So it's nice to bring in a guy that they can pair up with Patrick Surtain in the backfield. Sorry, in the whatever.
Yeah, it's a nice tandem to have. They don't need to address that position anymore at all, or even that defense. Yeah, a bit of a surprise. I know this fantasy community, Denver Broncos would have been an absolute prime spot for Hampton or one of the other running backs. So a bit disappointing, but
Steelers on the clock. If they don't go for Shadow Sanders, where does Sanders land?
Cleveland.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
They're probably the two biggest teams that need to address quarterbacks.
Yeah, Cleveland, the Saints might trade back up.
Yeah.
I know they've got their early second still.
Justin Fields isn't your man to be QB1, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like he's got some good physical traits, and yeah, he's still young. What is he? 24 now.
20. Yeah, just
Isn't
come off
Fi-
his rookie deal.
Isn't Fields at the Jets now?
He's at the Jets. Yeah,
Oh, he's at the Jets.
yeah.
Sorry.
They've got Saints. They've got Derek Carr, but it's been ruled that he might miss the season with a shoulder injury.
Oh wow.
So and behind him is Spencer Rattler. You'd really like to hope that they pick up one of these quarterbacks here, but yeah. Shedeur Sanders here sliding to 21. Perfect for Pittsburgh. Absolutely
Unless
perfect. We'll see.
Cleveland trade up here.
Yeah. What are they saying here?
Where did Najee Harris get traded to?
To the Chargers.
Interesting.
So yeah, he's pretty
Harris. Nice little offense they're building there.
Yeah, and he's got the backfield to himself. We'll see what the Chargers opt to do with that. They're on the clock next. They've been a big running back spot, a landing spot for this draft. So they might just push that back now that they've got Najee Harris. But hopefully, Shedeur. They've got Jackson Dart on the screen for those following along at home. He's got his phone out waiting for a call. Oh, let's see. I think looking at fantasy, if Shedeur does go here, DK Metcalf, George Pickens.
If they don't
he'd be very happy.
If they don't pick Sanders here, with all the rumors about Packers potentially trading for Pickens, maybe Packers don't pick at 23.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be
Pickens
back
at
shortly,
Packers,
lads.
I like that. Yeah. No worries, Mick. Oh. D tackle. Wow. Shedeur slide continues. Wow. What do you think of that one, Damo? I know hearing the media, it was kind of projected that they might go D tackle if not Shedeur, especially with the TJ Watt rumors. But yeah, how are you feeling after that one?
Well, the last three guys that have gone in the draft, they were all mocked to Green Bay at 23. So teams are going early for some guys to fill some needs. And Derek Harmon going to the Steelers kind of makes sense, but I feel like they needed a quarterback, and Jackson Dart is still on the board, and they can obviously still trade up, but I don't know. I feel like now Sanders' next landing spot is beginning of round 2 now with the Browns, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and it's tough for Steelers to trade back up because they don't have their second round pick anymore, so they're going to have to give up, 2026 first potentially if they want to try and make a move back up here for Shedeur. But yeah, wow, it's been a surprising draft.
Where do the Chargers go here? I don't really have a read on what they need.
Well, they got rid of Joey Bosa, so they could go that edge or defensive tackle position. Running back is still. I mean, I like Najee Harris there to handle a lot of the load, but if they wanted to add someone explosive, Trey Henderson could slide in there.
Is Amari Hampton still on the board?
He's still there. Yep.
Yep.
Could be a spot for either of those top two running backs. Matthew Golden is still there. They could try and get Herbert a little bit more help.
Matthew Golden kind of fits what they don't have in their receiving core as well.
Yeah, Ladd McConkey really plays that middle of the field. Golden could really stretch that for them. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we've got Cam here tuning in. Where's Golden going to land? Could be right now. And like you said, Damo, you're not expecting him to fit the mold at the Packers, so he might go past there. I mean, besides going here at the Chargers, Texans could be a shot. They were mocked with a couple of wide receivers, even though they desperately need O-line.
In saying that with Golden, though, I said that he probably won't go to the Packers, but I believe he did do a pre-draft visit. Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
So maybe he does fit what they're looking to replace in, Christian Watson, who's going to be missing most of the year. But and then after Golden, the other guys that they've met with are all later round prospects. So maybe they do go with Golden at 23, but that would be a surprise. That would be a surprise. That would be outside of Gutekunst's mold again.
Yeah, well, I think definitely within the next 5 picks, he probably should get picked up. But if he slides into the second, it just goes to show what the NFL thinks about him. He was being mocked as high as top, 12 to the Cowboys, and he's still there available. People might not be as high as what we thought. So
there was also a report that the Texans might be trading ahead of the Packers and the Vikings because all 3 of those teams are looking for similar needs.
Yep.
So we could see the Chargers move to 25 and the Texans move to 22, and then some picks swapped at the back end there. So there might be a trade here. We might not see a pick is in.
I mean, you could be on the money there, Damo. They're still on the clock. Nothing's been locked in.
I was going to throw in a little bit there. When was the last time only one quarterback was selected in the first round? Because you look through the teams that are left and no one really needs a quarterback.
I'll have a look. Yeah, you'd have to think that a team's going to trade up at the back end of this round for a quarterback. Let's see. So Mick, back 2000 was the last time that only one quarterback was drafted in the first round.
25 years ago. Yeah, right. Who was that quarterback? Does it say?
No, I'll do a little bit more digging.
Good stats though. Love that. I missed the Pittsburgh pick, Damo. I'll refer to Mullin as Mullin and Damo as Damo.
Yeah.
Was it a surprise to see Steelers pick up a tackle?
With is it TJ Watt? No, who's
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
Yeah, with TJ Watt kind of holding out in his contract and wanting a nice payday, it makes sense to go for a guy that can immediately replace him if a deal can't be struck.
Okay.
But now the landing spot for Shadow Sanders becomes a bit more muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this pick's being dealt. I mean,
you reckon?
They've only got 1:30 left on the clock. Still nothing in yet. Looks like they're still trying to work it out. I think if they pick, they'd probably take an edge or a defensive tackle. Maybe they want a Derek Harmon.
You would think that if they would have already made up their mind if they were going to pick, wouldn't you? Interesting.
Yeah, they look very, very indecisive in that room. So,
yep. Just while they're going about their business, Damo, your traffic lights are back for the AFL, mate, and you released yours this morning.
Yeah, I couldn't release them last night because I was out all day, so I couldn't release them yesterday. But yeah, went for a few points of difference in defense, and that's going to garner some interesting responses.
Yeah, I think so. But where can people find those traffic lights? Because I, for one, we've spoken about this a lot, but I've been a massive follower of that for years, which has helped me make my selections in AFL Supercoach. Where can they find you, mate?
So everything that I post regarding the footy mailbag is at footy mailbag on pretty much every social media.
Awesome. And I think we're bang on with this, lads. There's 10 seconds to go. No pick has been selected, so to speak. So this is being traded. Any guesses as to where? Is this where Cleveland go, yep, we're jumping up to take Sanders now?
Oh, well, actually, Mick, now that you've said that, the pick is in right on the death.
Really?
As the clock hit 0,
Oh, wow.
they put a pick in. So, yeah, maybe just couldn't get a deal done.
I wonder if they got a trade offer and they were arguing whether to accept it or not.
Mm.
Chargers aren't going QB. Where do you think? Edge or corner?
Yeah, both of those
Colin?
good spots.
Yep.
Running back could be a
who have they
sneaky
got
one.
at tight end?
Tyler Conklin. That's it.
Mm.
But I
Oh,
think
dear.
after Loveland and Warren going, I think they'd probably let try and work out a tight end in the second and third rounds, because it's a sneaky deep tight end class as well. So
there's a tight end
going
to go. There's a tight end going to go real late. His name's Mitchell Evans. He is huge, like huge. There is a highlight of him running down the field in a college game, and the linebacker only comes up to his midriff.
Oh,
Was that deadly?
But like this guy's like huge. Like I think he's almost 7 foot.
Oh, wow.
far out.
What's his name? Mitchell Evans.
Mitchell Evans.
I'm going to Google him. From Notre Dame.
That's him.
He is 6'5" and 260 pounds.
So not as big as I thought, but there's a highlight reel of him where a linebacker goes to tackle him, and the linebacker and he's towering.
Yeah,
he's towering over that linebacker.
Well, he's projected to be a second round pick in this draft. So he's obviously got some stock.
Marion Hampton.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Oh, well, all my Najee Harris stocks are just in the bin now.
I can't deal with any more committee running back committee running backs. We need to go back to one bell cow and then some change of pace. These teams that go with committees is just ruining the fantasy.
That's a strange pick. Yeah.
I mean, Najee, only 1 year deal. They definitely, with Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, they definitely do want to run the ball. They tried it for the first half of last year and it didn't work at all. That's when they had Justin Herbert slinging it more. But I mean, with those two guys, yeah, they're just going to pound this thing into the ground. That's Marion Hampton. Yeah, wow. Big pick, yeah. Very good spot for Hampton, but Najee, yeah, he's gone.
Jeez, he's a big running back too, 6 foot and 220 pounds, and ran a 4.45 40.
Yeah, super quick.
Wow, he's a big dude. A stat that jumps off the page at me just reading about him: he had over 1,000 yards rushing after contact last year.
Yeah, wow,
that's huge. Yeah.
And I mean, given how good the Chargers O-line is, he's going to get so much more before contact, on top of the after contact stuff. Yeah, wow. That's huge.
A good pick. Yeah. puzzling that they've got Najee and him, but you're right into your sleeper drafts, Mullin. Where would you take him, knowing that, you know, RB by committee is generally not something that we target?
I'd still be very, very high. I think he can definitely outproduce Najee and get that lead role. It won't be straight off the bat. I think they're pretty happy with Najee for the first few weeks, but talent-wise, Hampton definitely has got Najee topped. I think by quite a margin. So it'll, you know, once he gets kind of acclimated into that, he'll well and truly be the belle of the ball in that backfield room. And I think given that offense, I mean, yeah, when I was banging the drum for Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins had 13 rushing touchdowns last year on that offense, and he only played like 14 games. So that rushing touchdown upside, you know, at very minimal, I think he'll get double digits if he plays for a lion's share. Just having those touchdowns plus the rushing production, he catches passes as well. But huge pick. But in terms of dynasty rookie drafts, I mean, it's going to take a bit to digest this with Travis Hunter going 2 to the Jags. That just throws a spanner in the works. Tet going to the Panthers is a huge landing spot as well. He's still locked in top 4 for me. I kind of had Hampton as the second pick. That was kind of where my head was at pre-draft coming through. So definitely opens up the range of possibilities for him a little bit more, but still a high quality asset, top 4. But wow,
Cheesehead Nation, where you at, Damo?
Maybe the Packers are trading.
Could be. 4 minutes left.
Just take Will Johnson and get it over and done with.
For some reason, I feel like it's going to be like Luther Burden or they'll go for an offensive tackle just to ruin my life and pick up Josh Simmons.
Cheesehead Nation goes off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if they go for an offensive player, an offensive line player 2 years in a row, they couldn't even get the last one to work. The last one got injured for most of the season. Jordan Morgan needs to get his shit together before they pick up another one. And then they signed Aaron Banks to a ridiculous contract. If they draft another offensive lineman, Jesus.
I mean, Josh Jacobs just gets even better if they do, but besides that, that's about it. Oh, Jordan Love, I guess. Yeah.
Josh Jacobs can't do it forever.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's needs someone to throw to. If they're just going to run the ball every time, then they may as well, just use Malik Willis or use Malik Willis.
Tucker Kraft, breakout season coming.
Yep. Love it.
Who's the other tight end they've got?
Musgrave.
Musgrave.
Yeah.
He was injured for most of the year, I think, wasn't he, Damo?
Yeah, pectoral and then something else.
Yeah.
But he's got speed, Musgrave. I don't think we've seen the best of Musgrave yet.
And because he was picked ahead of Tucker Kraft in that class too.
Well, Luke Musgrave was seen as more of a receiving tight end, whereas Kraft was seen as more of a blocking tight end, but with pass catching ability. But it's kind of turned to the point where Kraft has become the bigger playmaker of the two. But Musgrave is deceptively fast.
Maybe they don't need another pass catcher. Maybe they're thinking Musgrave, they can run two tight end sets. Yeah, a lot of possibilities.
If they don't draft a wide receiver in this draft, Dontavian Wicks or someone needs to, improve out of nowhere.
Yep.
Still on the clock.
Get these picks in, yeah.
Yeah.
Never really got me as to why it takes so long to put a pick in when you've had 3 to 4 months since the NFL season's finished, digesting all the information, knowing exactly if who goes where, who the next player is that you're going to select. Mullin, they give him 10 minutes in the first round. Would you cut it down to
Packers
5
pick
or even
is
3?
in, and it looks like the
I'd love
guy's going to
that.
be in the green room because they've set up the camera.
Oh,
Oof.
okay.
Jordan
The
Love
camera
out.
at the,
Sanders
at the
in.
end of the hall, at the end of the.
Yeah.
Geez, could you imagine?
Who's in the green room?
There's only like 15 players there, so I'm not sure
Quick.
who's left.
Picked. Damo, who do you think it is?
Will Johnson.
Yeah, I'm on that side too.
You'd nearly convert me to a Packers fan if they grabbed him.
You've been waiting for him, Mick. You've been waiting for him to come.
I've been waiting a long time for him.
Yeah, let's see.
There's a lot of people there, isn't it? Where is the draft this year, Mullin?
Green Bay.
They
Yeah. Look at it. Far out.
are just going off.
Oh wow!
It definitely would have been a bucket list ticked item there, mate.
I've just seen on Twitter
Oh.
who they picked.
No way.
And are you happy with it? Don't wreck it, but are you happy?
Yeah,
Oh,
I am.
shit.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
someone who's going to be really happy.
Okay.
Man, I must be heavily delayed.
Yeah, I'm watching it on KO. So
Yeah,
I'm still,
same.
yeah.
My KO just died, so that's great.
Let's see.
Dun, dun, dun. The suspense is killing me. Come on.
Yeah, they just really building it up. Come on.
What are they talking about?
It's the outgoing president of the Packers.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you're
I-
outgoing.
yeah.
See you, mate.
Get going. Here we go.
So this guy's almost 70, but the way he looks, you would imagine at like 20, he probably looked a bit like almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh, wide receiver.
They're going wide receiver.
Golden.
Oh,
Oh, okay. That's the first time that they've drafted a wide receiver in the first round for ever.
Since 2002.
2002. Wow.
2002 or 2000? Yeah, 2002.
and who did they take then?
I can't remember.
Okay.
Wow. Matthew Golden stopped sliding to the Packers. Yeah, okay.
Doesn't fit the usual mold, but he does have the speed. He is an outside perimeter guy. He's perfect for what they need in the absence of Watson, but pretty much.
He ran a 4.3 40. That's quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got wheels. Wow. So we've had 3 wide receivers go,
Mm-hmm.
2 running backs, 2 tight ends, and we've still got 8 picks left. Far out.
Pick of the draft so far, Mullin. And I'm not saying it needs to be number 1, but who got the best value at their pick so far?
Best value. I think given what they can do to their team, I really like Genty. Like, I know that's probably a bit of a buying into the hype, but he was seen as the number 3 player in this whole draft class. And given what he can do for the Raiders offense next year, I think they could take a huge leap. So getting him at 6 when, people were talking about trading up to try and get him, I think that's big. But besides Genty, Tyler Warren slipping to 14 of the Colts, I think they'd be ecstatic with that, especially for fantasy purposes. What do you think, Mick? Where's your kind of flavor?
My boys haven't gone yet. Starks and Johnson. I'm very defensive minded, but I tell you what, if Godwin's not ready to go and we see Egbuka alongside Evans at Tampa Bay, that could be very exciting to watch that offense there. But I am very high on Abdul Carter too at the Giants.
Yep.
He for me was easily the number 1 defensive player in this draft.
Yeah, you can't miss with Carter.
No.
Same kind of profile as Micah Parsons. I mean, if he's 90% of what Parsons is, that's a home run hit. So,
So who's next? Vikings. And the pick is in already.
Pick's in.
That's good. They're not messing around.
Vikings
here.
are going to pick up Will Johnson.
Yeah. That's a huge win for them.
Who's this talking on the mic? He's got a bit of swag about him.
That's golden.
Is it? They're letting him talk.
Green Bay just running the show.
Aren't they?
Why not?
Yeah.
Hometown. He can just get his bags mailed to him now. He doesn't have to leave.
Wow. You're part of a few dynasty drafts, Damo. Where are you looking to go with who's going where so far?
I won last season, so I have the last pick in my dynasty draft. So I probably won't get to pick any of these guys going at the top end, but I imagine Genty would be the top pick, and then Warren probably close after, and then after that, I think the order will depend on what teams need. In my team personally, I need tight ends. So if Warren slips to me somehow at 10, or even Loveland slips to me at 10, then I won't think twice and I'll be grabbing one of those guys. But I think Genty is going to go the first pick in my dynasty draft. Ward would be an interesting one. I think he's going to go pretty early as well, top 3 or 4 as well. It's going to be interesting to see how dynasty drafts pan out after that Genty pick. It's going to be interesting if Genty doesn't go pick one in any dynasty draft as well, because then it becomes, where does he go? And you would assume 2 or 3 if he gets there, but then who's been picked before him, who gets picked after him? Yeah.
I mean, we could see Hunter be the number 1 pick off the board. I wouldn't rule that out. I know I'm very far on the side of Genty going 101, just because, we know the hit rates with, top 10 picked running backs is just an absolute sure thing. But Travis Hunter, very polarizing with the Jags. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was the 101 in some draft classes.
How exciting is that team going to be with Thomas Jr. on the outside on one side, and then you got Travis Hunter on the outside on the other? That's already really juicy.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah, Liam Cohen, he's going to have some fun scheming up plays with those two.
Good luck to any corners playing Jacksonville this year.
Yep. Pick is in. Donovan Jackson. Guard. Yeah, right.
Excuse me, Mr. Jackson. Was projected to go at 55, so he's made his way up the board into the first round. More of a pass blocker than a run blocker.
All right, then.
Does that mean
we've got a trade, gents? Houston Texans are trading back.
They are. New York has just
to the Giants.
Up. The Giants.
Let's go.
Where do they go here?
Oh, has to be quarterback, I think, if they're moving up.
Sanders. Here it is.
Yeah, I like Sanders there.
Why would they sign Winston and who's the other guy that they signed and then draft Sanders?
Wilson.
That's-
Yeah,
that-
I think they might.
And Garrett, yeah.
They might be willing to just let Sanders sit for a year because we've seen how well that recipe's worked for teams, and they got Winston for peanuts, and I think Wilson was only 10 mil or 15 mil himself, so not too much of an investment. Could have just been a bit more flexibility. They'll take Carter with the 103, and the way the draft fell, just a huge spot for them to move up here. Yeah, wow.
Have you got the details of the trade?
Let's have a look.
If anyone sees it in the chat, let us know. Drop it in the comments.
Texans trade 25 for the Giants in exchange for 34.99 and a 2026 third rounder.
Honestly, good value. That's like
Mm.
they're not really giving up too much, and if they can get a quarter, if they take Shador, oh no, it looks like a Jackson Dart. Oh wow.
See, Jackson Dart makes sense to sit for a year.
Yeah, it looks like it's him on screen. He's celebrating. Yeah, wow. Wow. What a great draft. What
I
an
really
absolute
like
great
Jackson
draft.
Dart. I'm a big Jackson Dart fan.
I think your mic is muted there, Mick.
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
There we go.
I
No,
can't get
that's
around people that wear glasses as a fashion accessory, not because they can't see.
Blocking out the haters.
Yep, I'll be back.
Yeah, wow. Jackson Dart. Very vertical thrower of the ball. That was one of his things in college. He can absolutely sling it, and he's got that accuracy down deep. So
I'm just reading his draft profile on PFF, and he had success at Ole Miss, but they're saying it felt scheme dependent, and he has to improve his defensive reads. So maybe him sitting for a year behind Wilson and Winston is going to be good for him.
Yeah. And he's also got some wheels. I know he added a little bit on the ground as well. So for fantasy reasons, could be a sneaky value.
He comes from a baseball background as well. So
yeah, right.
He would have needed some nice wheels to get around the bases in baseball. So he probably does have that athletic background to use his legs a bit.
I mean, given being drafted to the Giants and sitting behind Wilson and Winston, a lot of people are going to predict he'll sit for the year. Very similar to the Michael Penix situation. I know last year Penix was going around. You could get him in the mid-second in a lot of dynasty rookie drafts. And I know if Jackson Dart is sitting around the mid-second, I'll be having a whole lot of shares in my rookie drafts because that's just the value is just too good. Grab him, stash him on your bench for a year, and the value will just return its weight in gold. So, yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I know he's not here, but the last time Packers selected a receiver in the first round was Javon Walker in 2002. And Golden was born in 2003.
Wow. Should be a good pick for him. It'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's outside the box for them, but I think it works for what they need.
Yeah. I mean, they still might take a bigger back receiver because Dontavian Wicks, he's not huge by any means, is he?
Off the top of my head, I think he's actually bigger than people think. He is 185 centimeters and 93 kegs.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just over 6 foot.
So he's pretty much same as Egbuka.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But he
But
needs to improve out of
yeah.
nowhere. He couldn't hold on to a ball. He couldn't catch anything last season. He would drop everything.
Honestly, they still might address the receiver position, Damo. I know there's. Do you have your second round pick still?
Yeah, we've still it's still there. It's
Yeah.
58.
Yeah, okay. It'd be very, very high tea if they double bang wide receivers to start off the first 2 rounds. You wouldn't pick that, but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, I don't know where they go with their second round pick. I thought second round would have been a landing spot for someone like Jaden Higgins or Trey Harris or someone along those lines. But now they've gone a wide receiver in round 1. Every chance that they go cornerback or edge in round 2. With
it's definitely a need corner.
Is it Oladejo that Aquafemi? What's his name?
Oh, gee, yeah, I've got no clue. But here's the Giants finally putting their pick in. We assume it's Jackson Dart. There we go. Official. And they love it. The Giants fans absolutely love it.
Yeah. His name is Oluwafemi Oladejo.
Oh wow. Yeah, I would have been no hope trying to pronounce that.
Yeah. Edge defender. He's 75th on the PFF board.
Yep. Still a lot of good options there for him anyhow.
Yeah. I think there's been a few curveballs with who's still on the board in this first round. So I think rounds 2 and 3 we'll see a lot of those guys go, but now I think some draft plans are going to go out the window and people are just going to pick best available based on who's slipping through.
And here's another change up here. Back-to-back trade-ups. The Falcons are moving on up, trading back with the Rams. We'll try and see what they've done here.
I can see the Falcons going for Will Johnson. To be honest, I think everyone's in the mix for Will Johnson now. I think it's got to the point. I think it's got to the point where you just pick him.
Yeah, it's such big value. A lot of mocks going top 10. Getting him here at 26.
Well, I was surprised the Packers didn't pick him up because I think he was one of the only guys that. Sorry, I think the Packers were one of the only teams that attended his pro day.
Yep.
Or his private workout, one of the two. So, it's interesting that they didn't take him.
I just really wanted to beef up that offense. Hey, for fantasy, we're all about it. Give us those offensive pieces in those prime spots.
Yeah, I don't know where Golden goes in a dynasty. I think he's back of the line until we know what sort of production he's going to get.
Yeah, still not a bad spot. I mean, competing with Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Wicks, Dobbs, like he can definitely carve out a role, and he does fit that scheme for what they need. So
yeah,
good quarterback. You know, that's always good for these wide receivers being tied to those guys. A great offensive minded coach.
Yeah.
We've got here, Matt saying Falcons gave a lot to move up. What is are you seeing anything about the trade details? Yeah, I can't.
Falcons trade 46, 242, and a 2026 first rounder.
Wow.
For Rams picks 26 and 101.
Wow. 2026 first to go up for on top. Far out. That is heaps.
That's
but
huge.
Hey, I mean, if they thought Will Johnson's a top 10 talent, it's probably on the money, but you probably didn't need to pay that much. Wow. But I guess they get a back end of the third, or rather early fourth, along with it. Yeah, must have been a lot of teams calling in for that pick, I think. Drove up the price a bit more. Wow. Damo, is there anybody else if it's not Will Johnson? Do you think?
I'm just having a look now. I'm just having a look at the boards. Malachi Starks is still on the board.
Yeah.
Has Mike Green been
No,
taken?
He's still there. I was just about to say that.
He's still there. Jahad Campbell is still available. Will Johnson, Luther Burden, Donovan Ezeraku, Josh Simmons.
Oh wow.
James Pearce Jr.
Yep, that's it. James Pearce Jr. Wow. So Falcons double tapping the edge position.
It feels like they've paid a lot for another edge. I don't love that.
Yeah, it's a big price. But I mean, that drastically improves their defense next year.
Oh yeah, you would want to pick up their DST, especially in redrafts.
Wow. That is so much. So I'll just jump it up here on the screen. So I've just got here on ESPN, Field Yates. For those that didn't hear, Falcons traded pick 46, so the second round pick, 242, and their 2026 first round pick for pick 26 and pick 101 in this class.
Wow.
So an absolute haul. And I just need to... What do you think of that one, Mick?
Wow. Massive overs. I mean, they obviously rate James Pearce Jr., but
yeah,
jeez.
I mean, I rate James Pearce Jr. as well, but I feel like they could have waited till the second round to trade up.
Mm.
But you know what? If at the start of the day you said that Atlanta would have Jalen Walker and James Pearce Jr., that's a pretty handy young core that you're going to have it in your or on your defensive side.
It's a great base to have, considering what they had last year. That's a massive upgrade.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next pick here, gents. Ravens best, we know what they love to do. Best player available. Is this Will Johnson here? Surely.
There's lots of guys actually. It wouldn't surprise me if they go for if they go for a Mike Green.
Yeah.
Who? Let's have a look here.
Big Mr. Green.
.63 edge rusher. What do they need?
Oh, probably that defensive line. Yeah.
If they need a CB, then it'll be Will Johnson or Mike Green.
I mean, if they need a defensive tackle, Alexander is still there. He's a 6'4", 300-pound tackle. He's probably as good as it gets. Just going through the tackles that are left. Yeah, he's probably as good as it gets.
I mean, they could take an offensive line. Josh Simmons is still there.
Yeah, and Connolly as well. Big 6'5" out of Oregon. Yeah, Josh Simmons and Connolly are very similar. 6'5". There's 6 pounds difference. Yeah.
And there could be a little mindset running through their camp at the moment. If they take a tackle, that's taking away from the Chiefs who also need tackle help. So there could be a little bit of that in the thought process. Yeah, a lot of good players here still. All right. Let's see. Still on the
Yeah.
clock.
It's going to be interesting to see where the Lions go because they're pretty good in almost every position.
Mm. Yeah, they are. I know a lot of people are because they lost offensive tackle, their right guard or right tackle. So that
Yep.
could be a need. They could want to pair someone next to Aiden Hutchinson as well. on that
Jeez, he's a
defensive
beast.
line. Yeah.
If he stays
I mean-
healthy, my God.
Yep. I mean, could be Mike Green on the other side of him, the way things are shaping out.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. We spoke about it earlier in the show, Mullin, about how chemistry and getting the right guys in does wonders to your team. How about the head coach there? What's his name? Campbell. He's just
Oh yeah, Dan Campbell.
he's just unreal. And he's just so intense. But like players want to run through brick walls for that guy.
And we see that first year that he's 3 years in, I think.
Yeah,
That first
third year
year
now,
they
I
had,
think. Yeah,
they had a lot to do, but
fourth
their
year.
team
yeah.
has taken a huge step since he's come on board. And yeah, he
From a
built that
team
culture.
that was shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to mince words. They just couldn't get anything right there in Detroit, and to bring that one head coach in that is just so intense, but then so passionate. And I still remember watching a video where he pled with his players that you may not agree with me, but you just need to stick with me. We will win, but this is how we're going to do it. And sure enough, look at where they are now. Damo, Lions and Green Bay, long-standing rivalry, I guess. Does it pain you to see the Lions actually be good?
I don't hate the Lions as much as I hate the Vikings and the Bears.
Okay.
I've liked them for quite a while, as much as bad as that sounds to say, being in the but I do like I am a massive Dan Campbell fan.
Yep.
I like a lot of the players on their team, but yeah, I don't hate them being good. I would prefer the Lions and the Packers be fighting for that one seed than the Bears and the Vikings be anywhere near it.
Let's throw up something spicy, Mullin. Jared Goff has been a serial choker come playoffs.
Mm.
Shadur Sanders.
Oh, that would be
Let him sit for the year, learn off Jared
Yeah.
Goff, and then hand the keys to an offense with Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They've got the RB by committee there that actually probably one of the only ones that work. As we see Malachi Starks going to the Ravens.
there. He is.
Love that. Love it.
Mick, I think it'd be a shock to the world if they got Shadur. I mean, it's good value there at 28.
Let's get spicy. Come on. We want to see something.
It would be
different.
nice. It would be nice.
What are the experts saying that they need? Wide receiver, O-line, and D-line.
D-line, yeah.
Probably. They've got what? They've got St. Brown. They've got Williams. Who else they got at wide receiver?
Tim Patrick, but that's
Yeah,
not
they're
really
pretty-
saying
they're
anything.
pretty-
They got Sam
yeah.
Laporta. They've got enough there on
Yeah.
offense, I think.
Yeah.
I think for them, given how last year played out, as soon as Hutchinson went down, they struggled along that defensive line.
They
So
did.
if they can bolster that up, that's probably what they're thinking.
I want to
But-
see him get spicy.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's it. I still think another trade is going to come in yet. I
Yeah.
can't see Shador slipping into the second. I think a team will come up purely because that 5th-year option for first-round players is just so valuable, especially
sure.
in that quarterback position.
Something that's very often overlooked. Spot on.
Yep.
So if they're picked in the second round, we'll go through it. They only get their 4 years.
Just 4 years.
Yep. When does that change to 3 years and 2 years? What rounds does it go through?
I think it's 4 years from then on out. I might be
Okay.
wrong on that. I think it's only the first round has that extra 5th-year option.
Gotcha.
Let's have a look.
Damo, where do you see the Lions going with this one?
I wouldn't be surprised if it is Sanders, but I'm just having a look, see who's still on the board. Man, it's hard. I don't know. I actually have no idea. It's hard to see a hole in their team apart from that wide receiver room, and there's no one really on the board that they should be reaching for. So they could trade out of this first round if they feel that there's no one there and someone's come along with the right offer.
Who did Coach Prime play for back in his NFL days, Mullin?
Cowboys. I know he was drafted. He was drafted to a different team to begin with, and then he played for a lot of years at the Cowboys. Let's have a look. Deion Sanders. Oh, he went to the Falcons. Deion at pick number 5 overall back in 1989.
Wow, there you go.
And it looks like we've got the pick in for the Lions, so no trade happening just yet. Let's see how they go. But how are you guys feeling about Malachi Starks? Mick, I'll give you your spotlight because I know you were waiting for him to come.
He's the best safety in this draft. He's a bigger safety, so just over 6 foot. But you go watch his tape. I'm going to swear. Fuck me. He hits hard. He has laid some big hits at college level. And with the way the Ravens run their defense, I think he's going to be a massive, massive asset to them.
Yeah, that's just Ravens doing Ravens thing, taking best player available. And yeah, what a win at Malachi Starks. And I think with the safeties in this round, he's definitely in a tier by himself as well.
Yep.
So yeah, they've definitely bolstered.
Yeah. I think the only other one that sort of gets close to him is Emanwari from South Carolina.
Yep.
But yeah, Starks for me is the clear number 1 safety.
Coming out of Georgia too, we all know how good the hit rates are with those Georgia defensive players.
Detroit are back in the green room, Damo.
Let's see.
I feel like they're going to do something left field here.
Could be spicy. I think it'll be edge. That's what I'm going with. What do you guys reckon?
Who's left in the green room at edge?
I wonder who is.
Mike Green, is he there?
Let's have a look.
Someone that's been overlooked so far that I like as well, but probably a mid to late second or third round pick is Landon Jackson from Arkansas. He's a big 6'6", 260-pound edge. He made a massive influence there at Arkansas last year, and I see sliding into NFL football quite easily for whoever picks him up.
Could be the Lions right here, but it doesn't look like he is in the green room. I don't think any edges are left. Let's see. Defensive tackle, Ohio State, Tyreek Williams.
Okay.
Opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
I mean, it's what they need. It's what they need.
I wonder who invited Jalen Milroe late, because he got a late invitation to attend the draft.
Really?
Like quite a late invitation to attend the draft. So I wonder which team wanted him to be invited and then didn't pick him, because Commanders don't need him, Bills don't need him, Chiefs don't need him, and Eagles don't need him.
Are you guys watching this highlights tape of Williams?
Oh, I haven't been paying
Holy
attention to it. He
Holy
looks like a big
fuck,
boy.
he is light on his feet too. I like that. Like he's a 335 pounds, but
Oh,
man, he's just swimming by blockers and that's nice. Like that.
yeah, no, it's a good pick for Detroit. That fits Dan Campbell's scheme. Getting gritty, getting in the trenches.
Commanders now, boys. Probably the most improved team in the NFL last year, Damo.
Oh yeah, I loved what Jaden Daniels did at quarterback. I think Dan Quinn was the best coach to take over that team, and he transformed them both on offense and defense. And they kind of played a high scoring game, so maybe their defense does need a little bit of surety, but I think they're coming off a really strong base.
Yeah, early last year, the experts were saying that they were going to be lucky to win 4 games. And now they're coming into this draft having made the playoffs. And they won a playoff game too, didn't they, Mullin?
They did. They beat the
Yeah.
Lions. They shocked.
Yeah.
They were heavy underdogs.
That's right. Yeah.
Against the Lions conference champ. They were number 1 seed, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, came off the bye and knocked them off. So yeah, huge win, and just goes to show what you were saying earlier, Mick, about Dan Campbell. You know, a leader of people and building that locker room. That's what Dan Quinn did. He's a huge culture guy, and it just goes to show how much of an impact it can have on these teams. Plus, it also helps hitting on Jaden Daniels the way they did. He's an absolute.
That's awesome, isn't it? Yeah. So for the Commanders, it says here QB, wide receiver, and O-line. They've got Sandstrel, rookie from last year, who played quite well at corner. You could pair him with a Will Johnson on the other side. That gives you a second-year player and a first-year player as your top 2 corners. Maybe. Do you go receiver and pick out someone to help Scary Terry? Or is running back an issue for them?
It could be a possibility. I've seen a lot of Trey Henderson being mocked to the Commanders, and he's probably the last guy in that elite tier of this class, still lurking around. So he could be a huge pickup. I think wide receiver, with what they kind of have left on the board. Yeah, Luther Burden.
Wide receiver could probably wait with what's on the left on the board at the moment.
Yeah, there's heaps. There's heaps there. And honestly, it could be the same for running back. There's so many gun running backs in this class. They might just hold off for that as well. I think O-line, I know they picked up Laramie Tunzel. But they could still shore that up. You can't go wrong. But they've got the pick in, so no trades. Yeah, we'll see. This could be a good one.
I know you're on Green Bay pages and follow their sites and that, Damo. What's the general consensus amongst the Green Bay community with picking up Golden at 23?
Seems positive. I mean, I think they're surprised that he was taken because he doesn't fit the athletic mold that Brian Gutekunst usually goes for. But there's a quote somewhere that Matthew Golden, when he met Brian Gutekunst during his top 30 visit, he said, "I knew once I shook his hand, something told me that they were going to come get me." So they must have seen something they really liked in Matthew Golden, and coming from a strong college program at Texas at the Longhorns, I think he's going to be a really good pick.
Nice.
And he could be the number 1 guy there too. I know we're talking about Tucker Kraft. I think that room's really wide open, and first round talent could take it.
Yeah, I mean they've got now they've got what, Dubs, Kraft, Reed, Wicks, now Golden. There's lots of options, and Golden's versatility. He can play inside, out, you know, whatever they need him to. So it fits the nature of how Matt LaFleur wants the offense to run.
Am I right in thinking that the Commanders picked up Debo Samuel as well?
They did.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So you've got Scary Terry and Debo. They might not need wide receiver.
Yeah, they might be safe. Oh, they got offensive tackle, Josh Connolly.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think
Protect your biggest asset.
Yeah, and thinking of their division, they've got to face that Eagles pass rush. Or even though it took a bit of a hit, yeah, there's some scary pass rushes. The Giants, they've got scary pass rushes too. Yeah, no, I like that. That's good. Good for Jane Daniels.
Very good.
I can't see Will Johnson getting past the Buffalo Bills here.
Yeah, no, they need corner. That's good. I've got a little 3-1 slip on Bill's first pick to be a corner. So let's see.
Oh, do you?
Hopefully
Beautiful.
so, yeah.
Who's left? Bills, Chiefs, Eagles.
Mm.
So Bills, biggest need corner. What do the Chiefs and Eagles need, Mullin?
Chiefs, they need help at offensive tackle. I think
Okay.
even defensive tackle as well, because Chris Jones, he's not getting any younger. He's, creeping up in age. So if they can get someone to pair with him, but I think with Josh Connolly going off the board, actually Josh Simmons is still there. So maybe Simmons or Mike Green spot for the Chiefs.
I think it'll be Johnson here, Simmons at the Chiefs, and then Eagles. I don't know. Throw a blanket over who's left over.
Shadur Sanders isn't going first round.
Yeah,
unless someone trades up.
Yeah, I can see the Eagles moving back, and if it's only to move back one spot with the Browns, I can see that them doing that easily. So we'll see.
Interesting. So, Damo, where are you watching the Anzac Day game from today?
My house.
Nice and exciting.
Yeah, just gonna sit here. I've got some pizza to put in the oven.
Beautiful. You're sorted then.
Yep.
Do you get around Anzac Day, Mullin, or being a Queenslander, you don't really get around the AFL?
Yeah, not around AFL. I'll be tuning into the NRL games.
What NRL games are on today?
I think it's the Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's not the Broncos, so I don't really have as much of an interest. But yeah, Roosters, Dragons, Warriors, Knights, and also Storm and Rabbits. So honestly, all should be pretty good games.
Now, I'm only a newcomer to NRL, Mullin, but a couple of years ago, I jumped on Balmain or West's Tigers.
Yep.
They're looking better.
They are. Yeah, they are.
I know our man Whisperer and Braino are both West Tigers supporters, but yeah, I'll continue to call them Balmain.
Yep.
My boys. Are you an NRL man, Damo?
I went to the Roosters Dolphins game here in Perth last season, and it was okay. I mean, for me, I'm still learning the rules.
Okay.
I mean, and because it happens during AFL season, I don't get to watch a lot of games.
We'll highlight this before we see this next pick. Carmody wants to know, we'll go you first, Damo, then to you, Mullin. Who are your guys' favourite picks in the first round so far?
Ooh.
Malachi Starks for me to Baltimore. That's my favourite. Even though I'm a Travis Hunter super fan.
I really like Tyler Warren to the Colts. That's the one that I keep coming back to and thinking I need to get into a position in my dynasty league to get this guy. So I think Tyler Warren to the Colts is an awesome fit, both for fantasy and for the Colts themselves.
I think for fantasy purposes, yeah, like Ashton Genty is just an absolute home run, I think, for the Raiders. But Ted McMillan, I think that landing spot is so good for him. There was a lot of question marks leading into the draft of where he was going to go and where his value was going to lie. But I think that solidified him as a top 3 rookie pick going to the Panthers. So exciting for fantasy fans. It's been a great first round.
Definitely. As we say, the pick is in.
Again, corner.
Let's go. They didn't show many clips of the green room, though, did they?
I don't think there's many people left. Honestly.
Sorry, guys, I muted the tab randomly. If you guys were talking to me, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. No, it's all right.
Good. I think in terms of people in the green room still, Mick, there's Maxwell Hairston. He's a cornerback from Kentucky.
Yep.
And Will Johnson. I think that's the only 2 people left that haven't been picked. So, yeah, a couple of corners. Let's go, Bills.
They picked a corner.
Oh, no, just showing the love. Let's see.
Yep,
Maxwell
Hairston,
Hairston,
cornerback.
Corner.
Nice.
That's good. He's
Not
a big
wi-
player.
It's not Will Johnston, but hey, it
Yeah.
fits a need, and he's a good cornerback, Maxwell Hairston.
5'11", 180 with a 4.28 40-yard
Burner.
dash.
Wow.
Damo, and for those that follow the AFL and are interested in the AFL today, I live about an hour and a half away from the G. And usually the way the weather works is it works down from where I am towards Melbourne. And it is currently hailing outside.
Wow.
Excellent.
So we're going to have wet weather footy today.
I love that. And I know that we're talking about NFL, but if people out there do have Supercoach AFL teams, that tells me to put Isaac Kako on your field.
It's going to be on the ground a lot.
Yep.
Guys, we've had another trade just come in here.
Well,
Sorry to
Cleveland,
jump in here.
come up, Cleveland.
No, Philly has traded up one spot with the Chiefs.
Why would you move one spot? That sounds that. Surely that trade is literally just a hey, can we swap spots with you guys? Like that. What else would they have given up? A 5th round pick.
Is that what it was? A 5th
Yeah.
on top?
So Eagles get 31, Chiefs get 32, and the Eagles 5th rounder.
I mean,
And then the Chiefs move back again to Cleveland.
Yep.
So then Cleveland can take Shadur Sanders and get extra picks again.
I think here this could be Will Johnson because they need, after losing Darius Slay in the offseason,
Great get for them.
that could be who they get. Wow, Eagles, they
Imagine
always pull this out of their ass.
Imagine good Gout as a wide receiver in the NFL.
He'd run too fast to catch the ball.
Oh, mate. He could throw it and then catch it 60 yards downfield. Travis Hunter is a DPP. He's a cornerback / wide receiver. Gout could be quarterback / wide receiver.
/ punt returner.
Yeah, / everything. You just do you, boo.
Well, Debo Samuel was a quarterback in his high school days.
He was. Yep. Great point.
All right, Philly, make your pick. Come on.
Yeah,
You traded up. You obviously have someone in mind. Pick is in. Come on.
surely this is Will Johnson, right?
You'd think so.
Fits a big need. I mean, Mike Green also fits a need because they lost Josh Sweat in during the offseason. So, man, who knows?
I think it'll be Green or Johnson.
Mm,
But I feel like whoever they don't pick goes to the Chiefs.
yep.
Because the Chiefs used to be such a good pass blocking team, like a pass defending team. And then last season, they kind of lost that identity. So if Johnson's available and the Eagles do pick Mike Green, then I don't see Johnson falling out of the first round. I think Chiefs sort of save him there.
No, I agree. It's definitely either of those two. I think that'll be the finish, but I think Chiefs probably trade back again. Like Mick was saying, I think someone comes up for Shador in the last pick. I think they come up.
Let's see it. And just to add a bit of a smile to your day, if Deadly's listening, I did just have to run outside because I remembered I left the windows down in my car and it is saturated.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the missus is going to be really happy with me.
They have to start laying out a heap of beds of rice, mate. Just get rice in there all over the seats.
That'll be all right. Kako is now on field for me, Damo.
Yeah, he's on field. I feel like we're about to see a big game from Kako.
Mm-hmm.
And by a big game, I'm like a couple of goals from 10 disposals.
I think while we wait for the Philly Eagles pick to come through, we're getting absolutely smacked with ads during this state. But just to remind you guys, we've got a free Patreon for our NFL side on the Insight Fantasy Sports. There's also some more premium options to get a lot of value across all sports. But free Patreon for the NFL. We've got a WhatsApp group where we're always chatting, very active regarding anything NFL. So if you've got any trade inquiries, any kind of players that you're tossing up between, we love to chat it. We're D-gens all year round for this stuff. So, and we're going to be ramping up content the closer we get to NFL too. So we're a show a week at the moment. Besides this NFL draft, we'll be putting out a lot more with the hype going around. But getting closer towards the season start, we'll be dropping multiple times a week. So make sure you tune in and get all the insight you can in NFL fantasy.
Spot on. Love it.
Still waiting on this pick. Goodness me.
Devil's advocate, why wouldn't Cleveland trade up into round 1 to get that extra year for Shador? Mullin?
They might just not like him, honestly. They might. Yeah. Yeah, I can't see it.
The report is that Sanders was a bit of his dick in his draft meetings. He felt like he felt like his name should be enough to get him drafted.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, that could definitely play a part.
Well, if that's
it was
the
the
case,
same.
Yeah.
It was the same reason why someone else got really slid down a couple of years ago who didn't have the name but felt similar about himself. I can't remember who it was, but there was a round where there was supposed to be like 5 quarterbacks taken within the first 20 picks, and the 5th guy that everyone was predicting slid down to about the 3rd round or 4th round.
Yeah,
and then he didn't succeed at the team he got drafted to, and I think he's now playing in the UFL. But he kind of tanked his meetings as well.
Johnny Manziel.
It might have been Matt Corral.
Oh, okay. Yep, from that class.
It's definitely the same year as Matt Corral. I don't know if it was him or not though.
Give us the pick.
Yeah, so we've got the trade up there for the people that have missed it. Philly has traded with the Chiefs, moving one spot up, and all they gave was that 32 pick and then also a 5th round pick, which would be late anyhow. So a late 5th to move up one spot to get.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Campbell.
Okay.
Wow.
Sure.
Gee, we completely missed on that one.
He's ranked the number 1 overall linebacker in this draft
Wow.
class. 4.5 40-yard dash.
Wow.
Good hands. Gets off blocks well. He has recently
could
had
be good.
surgery to repair a torn labrum, so that may have dented his draft stock.
Yep. Well, I
There you
mean,
go.
that's a huge value for the Eagles then.
Mm.
A lot of
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
a lot of the green room is empty, but but the guys that are still there, props to them. They stayed and went and congratulated him. So
Yeah, nice.
How
many picks do we get today, Mullin?
This is it. One
just
more.
one more.
One more pick, and then tomorrow it's on again.
Yeah, tomorrow we got rounds 2 and 3. There'll be a lot more active. Only 5-minute clock. Should be a lot of trades, I think, in day 2 as well. So that's where we'll see the rest of these wide receivers go. A lot of running backs will go in rounds 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that starts a little bit earlier. So we'll be back here live for the start of that. I think it's around 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then then we'll get the rest from rounds 4 to 7 on Sunday. But it looks like the pick is in for the Chiefs, so no one's coming up for a quarterback by the looks of it.
They're not messing around.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, Campbell's excited.
Yeah. Going to a Super Bowl contender. He'd be pumped. Or Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that's awesome.
Got to give it to him, though. That's how happy I look when I get a decent Zinger box. So good on you, mate.
The feeling would be very similar, I think.
Yep.
Let's go.
And I got to say, if you order by Uber Eats or whatever you order from, you never know how it's going to come.
Yeah, nah. I tried it once, and the chicken came out soggy, and the burger was cold, and I'm like, nah, never again.
Yeah. Not the same.
Very selective with what I get through Uber Eats now.
Here we go. Last pick. Pick is in.
O-line, D-line. What do you reckon, boys?
Josh Simmons is still there.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the best of the bunch that's left. So we got Will Johnson still there.
Yeah, still there.
Mike Green. Will Johnson ranked by ESPN as the 10th overall player in this draft class. So whoever gets him from here is getting an absolute steal. We've got Emin Worry. He's probably the 2nd rated safety that I had anyway in this draft class. ESPN have him as the number 1 over Malachi Starks. Josh Simmons is still there. Mike Green's still there. Trey Henderson, you like him, Mullin, from Ohio State, the running back. Shadur Sanders is still there. Luther Burden is still there.
Yep.
Judkins is still there. There's still quite a lot of good players that could immediately have an effect early on in next year's season.
Yeah, I think round 2 is going to be jam-packed tomorrow. That's going to be such a value, honestly, ridden round with all these guys that are falling. Honestly, Chiefs, they need a running back. It could be a sneaky Trey Henderson pick. That would be absolutely phenomenal for fantasy reasons, seeing what Trey Henderson could do under Andy Reid. But I think it's more than likely going to be offensive line. But yeah, let's see.
What are their biggest needs? You said
D-line and
D-line,
O-line.
O-line.
Yeah.
They've probably got enough at wide receiver, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do.
Did they let go Tony?
Yep, Tony's gone. They
Good.
re-signed Hollywood Brown.
Good.
And I've been hearing whispers that Rashee Rice might not get suspended next year, which would just be
Wow.
Oh, sorry, this upcoming season, which would be ridiculous, but here they are. Yep.
Jeez, how's
Josh Simmons.
Is it Roger Goodell's get up with the suit and then the white shoes to go with it?
He's got swag. He's got that swag. All right. Offensive tackle, Josh Simmons. He was mocked so much to the Chiefs too.
Yep.
So
thumbs down by the Chiefs supporters. Jesus.
Oh, gee.
Chief supporters are hard to please.
They've had it so good for so many years, but the last 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. We're just running some highlights of
Yeah.
How do you gauge a good offensive tackle? Just by how much their percentages on clearances, I guess, or being able to block the quarterback an X amount of times, or the amount of times that D linemen or edge rushers are able to get off his blocks, or how are they ranked, Damo?
I'm pretty sure they're ranked by so there's a few things that they're ranked by. One is arm span. Short armed, if you've got short arms or short wingspan, you're usually moved to an inside guard sort of role. So offensive tackles need a large wingspan, and it's pretty much being able to give the quarterback as much time as possible to make a decision. Like you don't want a guy that can't hold a line, can't hold a linebacker. So yeah, there's a few different ways that they're ranked, and they're all ranked sort of the same, but also sort of differently based on where they line up along the line.
In the post-draft analysis, the Chiefs have said that this was a dream target of theirs and had him number 1 on their board for where they were picking the whole time. So
there you go.
They got the player that they wanted, and they've got an extra pick out of it. So they'll be stoked with that.
Yeah, and he's a proven winner too, so he should fit into that winning culture that the Chiefs have, with Ohio State winning the college championship last, and Josh Simmons being a part of that. So, yeah, I mean these bottom end teams, they've really, they got some big value.
Do you want to run through the draft or the first round, Mullin, and then we'll finish it up from there?
Yeah, let's go. So starting off with the obvious pick that we've known for months, it seems, Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. The first real big surprise, and definitely the surprise of the draft, the Jags trading up and sending an absolute haul for Travis Hunter. He's got that dual position play, and he's definitely going to be used on both ends of the field, you'd think. For them, New York Giants sticking and picking with Abdul Carter, considered a top 2 pick in this class. So to get him at 3, they'd be super stoked with. Pats with Will Campbell, offensive tackle, huge need for them. Cleveland Browns with their trade with the Jags, who were back at 5 with Mason Graham, big defensive tackle. Genty going to the Raiders, which is huge for us fantasy lovers. New York Jets, bolstering up their O-line with Membu. Tet for fantasy, going to the Panthers, great landing spot. All in all, Saints beefing up their O-line. They needed a lot of help there with Kelvin Banks. Colson Loveland, another one for us fantasy guys, going to the Bears at 10. 49ers beefing up defense with Michael Williams on edge. Cowboys going guard in Tyler Booker. Dolphins with Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle. Tyler Warren to the Colts, good landing spot for us here at Fantasy. And then the Falcons going with Jalen Walker edge. Cardinals defensive tackle and Walter Nolan. Bengals shoring up that defense, which they desperately needed to do with Shamar Stewart at edge. Seattle Seahawks offensive line upgrade and Grade Zabel. Emeka Egbuka, surprise pick that went to the Buccaneers, which, given with how good of a prospect he is, I think it's a very good spot to be linked to Baker Mayfield and learning under those two guys that they have. Jahdae Barron going to the Broncos, a little bit of a surprise. I know us fantasy guys were hoping that a running back was going to go there, but their defense gets even better. Derek Harmon to the Steelers, shoring up that defense. Big one for us fantasy lovers, Amarion Hampton going to the Chargers, which was an absolute dream landing spot coming into the draft process. Matthew Golden to the Packers, which was a surprise to a lot of us, beefing up or adding to their offensive weapons. And then Vikings shoring up their O-line with Donovan Jackson. New York Giants trading up for Jackson Dart. That was a big one. Dart going ahead of Sanders as well. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of chat about that in the media. And then the Falcons also trading up and setting an absolute haul, including their first round pick in 2026 for James Pierce Jr. And then Baltimore Ravens getting absolute value with Malachi Starks, who we project to be the best safety in this class. And then Lions shoring up the defensive side with Tyleik Williams. Josh Connolly, offensive tackle, going to the Commanders to help keep Jaden Daniels upright. Buffalo Bills get a big need with Maxwell Hairston at cornerback. And Philly trading up one spot to the Chiefs to get Jahad Campbell. Gave up a 5th round pick in the process, but then also finishing us off, Josh Simmons to the Kansas City Chiefs, who Mick mentioned earlier. That was their dream target in this class. So all in all, very, very good first round. A lot of surprises. I think we were spoiled with that round, and I've got a feeling of a lot of optimism rather for round 2, that we're going to have a lot more fun, a lot more trades coming in, a lot more fantasy players being drafted, especially in that running back position rather. So yeah, guys, we're going to be back in tomorrow for round 2. I'll throw it to you, Mick. How do you think the first round went?
Yeah, to say it was expected the way it was is probably a bit of a lie. There's a few surprises here and there. My man, Will Johnson not being picked, probably the biggest surprise of the first round, but someone's going to get an absolute stud at corner in the second round there. Really like the Malachi Starks pick to the Ravens, but for those that want to continue on with the NFL knowledge, the tweets, the news, these guys have it. So follow Mullin_FF on Twitter, and also Damo. Yes, he is an AFL man, but does love his NFL. Get across, follow him as well, and keep up to date with everything NFL related over the next couple of days.
And Damo, just throwing it to you before we finish up here. First round takeaways for you?
A lot of players went where this is going to sound really bad, but a lot of players went where they fit, and that's probably the best thing that's come out of this draft. And Tyler Warren at Indianapolis Colts is probably my fantasy darling coming out of the first round. But I mean, like Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, even the likes of Egbuka and Hampton and those guys should come across some fantasy boards fairly high up, and because you don't draft players in the first round not to use them. So yeah, it's been a good round, and a lot of players went in a lot of good places for us.
100%.
Love it.
Just before you knock off, Sanders just goes 201 to Browns, Mullin.
I think so. I think it'd be very, very surprising if he didn't. I think that will be a huge tell on how teams look at him if he goes past the Browns at 201. Fits a huge need for them, and they're getting great value, I think, taking him at the 201. So it'd be very surprising.
Yep. Or they've got the 201 and the 204. So you've got Houston Texans who don't need a QB, and then you've also got Tennessee who just took one with the pick 1. So they could look for more of a position player and then go their QB at pick 4 in the second round.
I could even see looking at the Saints. They've got the 8th pick in the second round. Another QB needy team. They could
Mhm.
be in the Shador Sanders sweepstakes to go along with Cleveland Browns. So
For
yeah,
sure.
going to be a lot of action.
Yep.
But no, that'll finish us up today, guys. Thanks heaps for tuning in to round 2 of the 2025 NFL Draft. We absolutely loved it. Thanks to everyone tuning in for the nearly 4-hour stream, and we'll be running it back tomorrow. So for anybody tuning into that day 2, make sure to watch along with us. We'll be back, and it'll be a lot more active tomorrow, day 2, with a whole extra round jam packed in, and we won't have to be waiting as long and watching as many ads. So it'll be great. It'll be a great one. But thanks both to you two gentlemen, Horse and Damo. Been an absolute pleasure. I hope you both enjoy the rest of your Anzac Day and weekend ahead.
Flag Dons.
Thanks, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.